Welcome everyone to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. Giving opinions about nerd stuff is our superpower. I'm Captain Mal.
And I'm your boy, Crawler.
I'm Kyle L. Happy to be back.
And thank you for joining us on episode 28 of the world's greatest news and reviews. That sounds right.
Sounds about right.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I am 95% sure this is episode 28 of the world's greatest news and reviews. And if I'm wrong, that is a testament to all of you guys for tuning in. Each and every episode, we keep popping these out, and I'm losing count. That's how many of these we keep doing, and it is awesome. Thank you very much for joining us. But as you can see, we are joined by T. Crawler and Mr. Kal-Au, and we are going to be doing a fantastic episode today and a fantastic top 5 countdown. Mr. L. Yeah, because first name Cal. What is our top 5 going to be today?
We're going to be doing the top 5 rewrites or redirecting tips you would do to a movie that you hate. And so how would you fix it, basically?
Okay, so basically you take a movie that you were disappointed in.
Yeah.
What would you do as the writer, director, whatever? What would you change to try to save it?
Yes.
To try to make it watchable, passable. We're not saying like turn a crap movie into a great movie. We're not saying rewrite the entire thing.
No. So I feel like for everyone, you have those movies that you love. And then there's that one detail that we all think that we could be better writers or better directors.
Yeah, if you just change this one thing, it would be so much better.
Yes.
Okay.
So I thought it would be a fun topic.
That is a very long title. It's gonna be hard to word for the YouTubes. Yeah. But yes, really interesting thing. And so this, when you suggested this for our countdown, both you said it, but I immediately thought it was just like, this is really going to allow us to be creative, because it's not just say what's wrong with the movie, but like, how would you fix it if you were in charge? Yeah. You know, if you made the big bucks. Mm-hmm. So, all right, that'll be a lot of fun. But as always, first, we're going to start out with some news. So, as with, the way the world is and the coronas and everything, news is hard to come by, but we managed to scoop together a few. As our resident Spider-Man superfan, T. Crawler, some stuff has been flying around with the MCU Spider-Man 3 movie starring Tom Holland. Yeah. I've heard it's actually going to start shooting next week, but some interesting casting and character announcements have been made. Tell the viewers at home what's going down.
So you're going to... the one thing I did, I posted on Facebook. I actually beat you to that one. Was this?
It's so annoying because I posted it and then I was like, maybe I should see if somebody did it, and you beat me by like a half hour. I was like, motherfucker.
That's the only thing I posted, because like with the coronas and everything, like there's a lot of rumors out there. So when I don't like to get my hopes up on the Spider-Man sequel coming up or whatever, so a lot of things I don't read, but this one I actually read and I looked at the source and everything else. So I'm like, so that's why I posted it.
But before you go on, just, if you guys don't know, so we have a Facebook page which you should follow, and we share pretty much anything in the world of like nerdiness, news stories that come out, announcements about movies, that kind of stuff. We don't share rumors. If there's just a rumor, if there's anything that's unconfirmed, like, yeah, that's really sexy clickbait, but we only post confirmed news.
Right.
So that's...
Which is why all my stuff gets shut down.
Yeah. Kal-Au constantly, he's like, look at this! And I'm like, that's not true. And he's like, sad panda.
Like every day.
Every day. Every day. It's really funny.
All the time.
Anyway, so go ahead. What came out?
So it was just confirmed that... Doctor Strange is going to be in the next Spider-Man movie.
Yes, Benedict Cumberbatch is he is going to be.
I was trying not to say that, so I didn't say his name. But yeah, so he's going to be in the next Spider-Man movie, which I thought is amazing. It opens it up for a whole lot of things, and so
the possibilities, sir.
So I've seen all these different titles of the next sequel coming up, and I don't even know. I have, like I said, I don't like rumors. We don't want to post rumors, so I'm like, I don't even know what the hell, if they even came up with an actual title.
There's not an official title,
but
no.
Because he's in it, I'm like, oh shit, this just opens up a lot more possibilities for a lot more things. So the another actor that's going to be cast,
these very much tie into each other. So.
You can go with that one, because that one I glimpsed at it, and I kind of...
So this came out before this came. So the Benedict Cumberbatch, he got announced literally the day of this recording. This other actor got announced as being a part of this several days ago. We even missed the day of reporting on this, not because I didn't know about it, but because I thought it was a rumor. I went to like 4 different websites that I trust to make sure this was confirmed, because it sounds like some rumor shit. Jamie Foxx is reprising his role as Electro.
Yeah.
Now, Holy shit. When you couple that with Doctor Strange being in this movie, I'm not saying Spider-Verse, but I'm saying multiverse. Like,
yeah, for sure. Like,
it totally
you
sets
have to
this
think
up.
that's where they're going with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, for me personally, like, he was the saving grace of that movie.
well, there was no saving grace of that movie.
Wait, which movie?
He was the
He's
best
talking about
part of it.
Amazing Spider.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider. What?
Like, by far, Jamie Foxx was the best part of that movie.
I will,
Bro,
No, I
I
strongly disagree.
I disagree
No.
with that
Stop
also.
it,
But here's
guys.
okay. So before we start talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which could be its own podcast,
Right.
let's say what I'll speak real quick, and I think we could all agree with this. Jamie Foxx is a fantastic actor.
He is. He's fantastic.
Fantastic.
He's a very
He's phenomenal.
talented
Not only that, he's super nerdy. When he got cast for the Amazing Spider-Man 2, he was stoked. He was into it. Like he's nerdy. He wanted to be in that superhero movie, right? And so whether or not you think he was okay and like the saving grace of that movie, sure. The general reaction was not positive.
Yeah, I
for that
remember
movie
that.
and for him in general. I personally think he was one of the worst parts of that movie.
Really?
But not because of anything he did.
I
I
do
think
too.
he did everything that was put in front of him fine.
I think
I
it's
just
the
think the writing was terrible.
Right.
Exactly.
I will not disagree with that.
He did the best he could with what he had, sure.
Right.
Yeah,
But it was terrible.
Like, so I invite you both to do this. Picture literally like anyone else in that character with that writing, and think about how much worse would have been.
Sure.
So he saved that.
Maybe
character to
he
a
was
point.
the best dumpster fire, but it was still a dumpster fire.
I just
you
think
could
that he
you
saved-
could spray Febreze on a freaking dumpster fire, but it's still going to be burning
still gonna be
garbage. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
see the point you're making though, and I agree with
This
you.
is basically what it boils down to is I'm excited for this because I, unlike these two, saw the hope when he played it the first time.
No, okay, so it's
here
not that
I
I. Okay.
with
Here goes
better-
Kal-El with his hope.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
about
what
the
I
hope.
do.
It's all about the hope.
Nice, right? You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Listen, man, I think with better writing and better directing,
Right.
he will kill it.
100.
That's what I'm saying.
1,000%
He's a
agree.
great
And that's why I'm excited. I think we're all excited
Well, you
about
didn't
this.
sound excited 2 seconds ago.
No,
like,
because you were like Amazing Spider-Man
You
2,
talking about Amazing
and then I
Spider-Man 2,
remembered
yeah.
that movie, and then I got sad.
yeah,
So-
it happens to everybody.
But here's the thing: 100% agree. With good writing, with like the writing staff of the previous 2 movies, and just the direction of Feige and like the MCU in general, yes,
Yeah,
he would be
I think-
amazing.
I think
he
he's
even
gonna kill
said he addressed what was the elephant in the room because he was straight up asked, "Are you going to be blue?" And he was just like, "No, like,
of course not.
this is
Yeah,
going to be."
right.
Which I know there's a version of him in the comics that is blue, but that looked hokey as shit.
Right.
So he's going to be what I have to imagine is what the MCU's version of this is going to be. Which, talking back, J. Jonah Jameson was in the last Spider-Man.
Yes,
He was
at
in the
the
end
end.
credit scene. And he
Yeah.
was clearly a different version from like the Raimi movie.
Right.
So it also established that these same actors could be these same characters. And if you're a fan of comics at all, you understand a multiverse, so we could wrap our heads around it.
Right.
But that kind of laid the blueprint, I think, inadvertent, like probably planned for this to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And the next Doctor Strange movie is called The Multiverse of Madness. They
Right.
mentioned 616 in the multiverse in the previous movie. So you know they're going that direction.
Oh man.
So,
So you-
again, there's the door opening to the next phase. We talked about it on the last time I was here.
Yeah.
We talked about how much better they do stuff, and here we are again.
Right.
They're showing you the doors slowly.
Well, so kind of, but I mean, we just had several episodes ago where we talked about all the DC announcements and like their crazy multiverse and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to you could make the argument that DC's doing the multiverse bit first, kind of accidentally though. They kind of stumbled into it. They kind of failed
like they do with
upwards.
everything.
They
Yeah.
failed upwards into
Like they
it,
do
which
with everything.
props
They
for
fell off
them
the stairs.
because they failed and they tucked and rolled and they popped up on their feet. Impressive.
Takes a lot of effort.
That's
That
not
takes a lot of
nothing.
effort,
That's not
particularly
nothing.
in the cinematic world.
But it seems like Marvel's actually planning this a little
Yeah,
better.
They did. I mean,
And so this is cool. So as a Spider-Man fan, the bigs, like we like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You love Spider-Man.
yeah.
So what's your takeaway from all this?
I mean, I would have been upset only because of like the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I didn't think that character at all, and I understand it was the writing because Jamie Foxx, regardless, is a great actor.
Yeah.
Now the character itself, I did not like the way they went with it. like how he was such a big freaking super fanboy of Spider-Man and all that stuff. Like you guys covered this on the episode.
He was the Riddler in Batman Forever.
Right.
It was so
It was ridiculous. But
he killed
have
that.
you guys seen Have you guys seen Project Power on Netflix?
Yes.
So
check out our review of it.
Yes, seeing Jamie Foxx in that role,
it was great.
I was like, holy shit! So when this was announced, hell yeah,
I was
excited.
excited.
Extra excited. Yeah, I was like,
watch him in anything. Watch him in Ray. Watch him in Django.
Yeah,
watch him in
like
anything.
I said, he's good in everything.
Fantastic.
But to be in a this genre of
Right,
movie,
so superhero-esque.
yeah. So I was like, hell yeah,
It's gonna be great.
I didn't even know. None of us did. But at the time, I was like, oh shit, he could do something new in the MCU, and for
Your
him to
brain
reprise
doesn't
his
even go to that.
right. Yeah. So that's gonna be awesome. I'm very excited. Yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah, this is going to be excellent. I really hope this isn't the last Spider-Man movie. It's not going to be because money says everything. So like they're gonna work something out.
Third version of this Spider-Man, movie. I don't think it's gonna be like the dumpster fire of the last three Raimi movies because that one was just like.
And the previous 12.
Anyway, we can get that. That could be another whole.
But here's my thing. So the one thing that I do have something I would like to see happen. I would like. And I get it in the movies. Peter Parker is very much still a high school. He's very much still a teenager.
Right.
I would like him to start growing up a little bit. Already.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy how fast the MCU like appearances in terms of superheroes happen. Because this is already going to be Tom Holland's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th appearance of Spider-Man. So blowing away everybody else who's ever been the character.
Who's played him, right.
And it's fine. Like, we were very much still referring to him as a kid and not allowing him to do things and grow up and all this kind of stuff. But any other movie or any other, like, Spider-Man franchise or series or whatever, like, halfway through the first movie, even into the second movie, it's like, okay, we're not high school anymore. You're an adult. You got to mature.
But I didn't like that because even in the comic books, it takes a while before...
It does.
All the versions, all the different stories of Spider-Man Peter Parker, it takes a while before you actually start seeing him as an adult.
Right.
And
it takes a while.
I don't want adult Peter yet,
right.
but I want him to start making the transition from kid, not really knowing his powers, not really being able to do anything, to starting to step into that leadership role that he does get to.
Right.
I don't want it now. I want to see it start happening.
But for a change, I feel like they're doing a great job at that with this franchise. This time. So you saw a little bit of every time you see him, I see a little bit more.
Right.
Yes.
There's a little bit more, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But it's not what they did with the previous Spider-Man.
Well, yeah,
like you said,
what's
halfway
MCU
through the movie,
doing?
and we're done. And
they have
taking
their time, and they know they have.
They're taking their
But
time.
they had to do that with
They're
the
not
casting.
rushing it.
Right.
So
that's the difference. They had to do that because of who they casted.
I just want to see a big step forward in this movie.
Yeah.
Not what he's gonna ultimately end up as, but I want more progression now.
Yeah. Well, and I've always felt like that's probably the best casting they have done.
Oh yeah, by a mile.
And the reason is because for once, it allowed you to buy into the kid
because he looks like a kid.
Because he looks like a kid.
Right.
But you buy into the future. He can play this character forever.
Yeah, he
does
wants
a killer job at it.
Right.
He wants to do it, and you casted him young enough to where you can afford to do that.
Well, Kevin Smith famously makes this joke all the time on his podcast, Fat Man Beyond, which is hilarious. Yeah. But he talks about the last two Spider-Man franchises, with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, respectively. And I was like, oh yeah, he's a kid, except that he's clearly a 35-year-old man. Right. So like, there's this part of your brain that's just like, all right, I guess.
Big disconnect.
But specifically for me, like one of the best moments that he's had yet was in the first Spider-Man movie he did, Spider-Man Homecoming, when they drop the building on him essentially, and he starts panicking and freaking out, and he does like that childlike high-pitched cry.
Right from the comic book.
Yeah, that's exactly from the
Yes.
And then he's just like, "Come on, Peter, come on!" He sees the reflection, like, "Come on, Spider-Man!" Like seeing that, and you're just like,
that moment of growth, like
great.
Man, I'm getting goosebumps.
It's good.
You buy into it immediately,
right?
Man, that kid is one of my favorites.
Yes, he's great.
Casting
And
for the MCU. Period.
I'm ready for more. I'm ready for more.
The stuff that he brings into the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame.
Oh my god, yeah, he's so funny.
Hell, even the little part in Civil War, I was like, oh.
And
shit,
it's not. He doesn't have a huge part in it.
Is Footloose still the best movie ever made? It never was.
Never was.
But yeah, I'm super excited about it. I think I'm a huge Jamie Foxx fan.
Yes.
Love his music. I love what he does as an actor. Like,
Yep.
dude is,
He's just talented. It's
he's
not
one
fair.
of those people
It's
that
not fair.
like a lot of people don't know how
not fair.
talented the cat is.
Yeah.
Like the first time I saw him play the piano, I was like, and you can play the piano,
Yeah.
bro. Like, just it's unfair to a point. But I'm really excited to see what.
As a fellow Metallica fan, it's like when you see Hetfield played the fucking drums, and you're like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yes.
Like
Right.
seriously.
Yeah. It's like it's almost not fair.
Yeah.
That's the amount of talent that he has. I think that with better direction, with better writing, we're gonna see a much better product.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna make my point that I think without him, that writing of that screenwriting of that particular character on the Amazing Spider-Man, like, oh man, it would have been so bad.
Right. Well, and that kind of ties into what our top 5 is going to be. It's just like, hey, let's alleviate some shitty writing. What could have happened?
Imagine that.
Good segue. So yeah, nothing but excitement at this table. The possibilities are crazy endless for this. But all right, let's jump over to the DC side of things in terms of news. So this is still rumor. This has not been confirmed by any credible source. In fact, it even got announced that it's being pushed back. But Wonder Woman 84, as with a slew of other movies, has been in the rumors lately saying that we're going to release the movie straight to VOD, video on demand, on streaming services and all that. Now, it hasn't been confirmed, but it is a fun topic of conversation in that, do we think they should? Because Tenet did release in North America, and it did not make a lot of money. Yeah. It really showed that a lot of people were not willing to go risk exposure to the coronavirus by going to the theater, and even if they were, how they had to do it with the seating being staged and with the cleaning of the theaters, it doesn't allow you to get the number of bodies and showtimes in there,
which is unfair. Which is unfair to the movies coming out.
It is, but the bigger argument though is just like, okay, so Tenet is a Christopher Nolan movie, and he has a diehard fan base, and his movies make money. Mm-hmm. They don't make Marvel movie money. Well, some of them do. But that's not based on an IP that a lot of people know. That was an original product, right? So if something like Wonder Woman were to release in theaters right now, it would make more money than that, but it wouldn't make the money that it would make under normal circumstances, I don't think.
No, you're 100% right. Because simply because of the restriction.
Right. Like, it just physically can't.
You're talking about 25%, I think 22% capacity for theaters. And so...
Crazy.
So back to your original question, right? Should they release it in theaters? Here's where I sit. Absolutely. What is the cost to the production team to release it in theaters?
Well, so this is why this is a loaded question, because no matter what, a studio is operating at a loss, right? So when you say under normal circumstances, when you open a movie in theaters always get a percentage, always get a cut. And it is at first opening weekend, and for like the first week, it's super high.
For the first week, yes.
Yeah. And then it tapers after that. And the bigger the movie, the bigger the theater's cut is.
Right.
So for something like Wonder Woman, it would be at least 50%, if not higher than that at first.
Is it going to be more than they'll make anyways through streaming?
That's the question.
Yeah.
I think it is.
But here's the thing. So maybe... But if you negate the cost that you have to pay the theaters, and now you're getting one, say you release that on HBO Max or whatever, and you charge $20 for it,
right?
You're not selling 5 tickets for a family to go, but somebody is paying for it, and you're getting all of that $20 as opposed to half of it.
So, but again, it's a mathematics world.
You're not going to get a lot of people that are willing to spend that much money to watch it at home, because other things you can stream and rent on TV are $5.99.
And just wait for it to be free.
Way cheaper, and you just wait till it goes cheaper.
So here,
for the experience of seeing it in a theater, it's like,
I concur, but here's the devil's advocate to this: is I haven't looked up the budget. It has to be at least $200 million.
At least
that is the average superhero movie. I'm assuming it's more than that
for sure.
I feel like when this happened, when the coronavirus happened and the shutdowns happened, every single person affected by it would have been like, October, everything will be back to normal by then. We thought we'd have been back to normal by the summer.
Yeah.
Realistically, there's no end in sight. The numbers are not getting better. So they got pushed back now till the end of the year, and this movie
25th,
keeps getting pushed back. So how long are you going to let your $200 million investment just sit there?
Right.
That's the question now.
Well, here's the answer to that, and it's very simple in my mind. If you wait to release it on theaters until theaters can be back at full capacity, how much money is it going to make in a weekend?
Wonder Woman, domestically, I'd say $150 million, easy.
Okay. so you wait, right?
Okay, fair.
I mean, you look at that. You look at the number. It's very simple. You look at the number, and the possibilities of you making a chunk of your money back, if you wait, are much greater than releasing it on streaming video. Like we talked about this. We did a little bit of the math of going to theater with the Mulan thing, but versus now when I was last a guest, and so again. If you're getting like my family is 5 people, right? Mm-hmm. I can either buy Wonder Woman for $20 or pay $150, of which the studio's gonna get $75. That's
still more than $20.
That still trumps the 20,
Right.
So even if you release it, at a moderate with restrictions, you're still gonna make more money. I feel, and being. Selfish. I want to see that on the big screen. That's one of the movies that I need that full
certain movies
sound,
you gotta see
big screen.
Yeah.
Full IMAX experience, and I crave that. Now, what I'd be okay with is if they release it on streaming services, and then when we can get back in the theater, they do a
re-release.
Yeah, a re-release in the theaters, which I think could be a thing.
Yeah, but you're not going to get the influx.
They
of business.
won't make the money that they would, but I still think they will make.
I think
money,
what you do is. You either wait, like you're saying, or you do a dual. You release in theaters, limited, and on VOD, so you give people the option. Because you're right, because people like us would go.
Yeah, I would go.
And
I would go for
some people that don't feel comfortable going. That's your right, and you stay at home and you buy it. I feel like though, but either one of those options, releasing before everything's back to normal, or doing a dual, or doing. No matter what, they're not getting the money.
No,
if everything were normal.
Absolutely, you're
but
right.
who's to say if things will go back to normal? Regal's talking about filing bankruptcy. AMC's talking about filing bankruptcy. It might never be back to normal.
No.
So who knows?
At this point, I think we're flirting with the idea of maybe not having theaters.
I think. I think Ben Affleck said in an interview exactly what I said. I think 3 or 4 podcasts ago. The days of everything going to theaters is gone.
Yeah.
It's going to be big blockbuster movies only.
Yeah.
It's going to be Marvel, DC, the Harry Potters of the world. The big franchises are going to release in theaters.
Yeah. And everything else.
Everything else is going to go streaming.
Especially if all these major theater companies go bankrupt.
Which is a shame because as I feel like all of us could agree on, the theater going experience, despite more and more annoying people in theaters, and
despite the fortune that they're charging you for everything,
there's still something about it that we love.
Yeah, the ambiance, the mood, like
the sound.
Even when I listened to you guys when you had General Zod and yourself last time you guys were here, and you were talking about there's a scene where you're talking about when Thor came down to Earth and the cheering from the ground. We were there in the theater and like just cheering, just that interaction. It's nothing like that.
No, because you were sharing. Man. So I
was screaming, and it's not just that. Like but it's just
you could tell like groups of people like their favorite character when they came on because Thor comes on, Spider-Man comes, he gets his suit. I fucking went off when he freaking the armor suit came out of the headquarters. I knew exactly what it was. Like, oh shit, he's gonna so everybody goes crazy for different moments. It's
part of what, and that's the thing. So I saw when Infinity War released, I saw it 3 times opening weekend with 3 different groups of friends because whatever.
Because you're a nerd.
But the last time I saw it with like my non-nerdy friends, like they're kind of casuals. And so I was disappointed because I wanted the experience I got the first 2 times. It was like, Thor! And I'm like, Thor, he's gonna land. I'm like,
these are your casuals.
And then I explained to them, I was like, fucking the last times were better because of the cheering. And they're like, oh, we hate that. I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, oh, well, it's lame and it takes you out of it. I was just like, I'm never watching these with you. So
this is my...
So the reason you I like that is because it's like going to a football game or a basketball game. You are sharing...
Or a concert. You get that
you're
energy
sharing
from the crowd.
Passion with somebody else, with strangers.
And you're crazy. You're on the edge of your seat. You're watching it. Like, could you imagine if nobody in the crowd said anything when Captain America finally got to say... Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
Could you imagine nobody said anything? How boring that would be.
10 years for that, right?
Some of those moments, you can't even hear the dialogue because the theaters were cheering. Yeah. Some of the funnest things to do is after watching that is like then you go to like YouTube. I'm not saying you should do this, and then you watch bootlegged videos of people in the theaters just recording the crowd reactions. That is so fun to see the shared experience.
So fun story for me. I went opening day with my daughter and a group of her friends. So I was at the theater with a bunch of high school kids, and they were all nerds, but to see them looking at me because they
waiting for their reaction.
Well, like it was really funny because they like they told my daughter, they're like, man, your dad's crazy. Like, you know, he's like really into this. And she's like, oh yeah, you don't even know. Like they thought I was the chaperone parent taking it over. Like, oh no, bro, I'm here for me. Like you happen to be
You're
coming.
my excuse.
You happen to be coming on, which my daughter knew all along. But her friends were like, man, your dad's crazy. Like when Thor and when Captain America, like he was crazy. And then my daughter was like, oh yeah, like you're a guest in his world right now. Like,
dude,
but it was super fun to me. Like
at the end of Endgame, I was losing my voice.
Oh yeah,
I was screaming at the damn thing. So I like the repeat viewings were fun because I got to hear the dialogue I missed because I was yelling like a freaking lunatic.
Right, all the things that you missed. But so more to my point, right? Like, do you want to lose that? With
no,
do you want to lose that from now on?
I don't.
You know,
I
and
don't.
so at some point, I think, and mathematically speaking, financially speaking, I think they'll make more money no matter what if they release in theaters. Whether they're gonna make as much as back in the normal days, no, they're not going to.
I don't think,
but they're not going to no matter what.
That's the point.
It.
I don't think they're ever gonna make that money again. So I think those days are kind of.
So I think
gone.
you cut your losses and you put it out, and then again, I really love how you put it. You give us your fans the option.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you wanna go to the theater and put up with the seating and the mask and the whole 9 yards, you do that. And if you don't want to, you don't feel comfortable doing that, then you pay your $20 and watch it at home.
Yeah, that's your choice.
Which I'm probably gonna do both. So.
Oh, dude, I would, depending on the movie, like that night, I would come back and watch it.
Actually,
again.
like I know I'm gonna do both because my wife is the biggest Wonder Woman fan I know. So yeah, I'll be watching that like 14 times the first week.
So, sticking with the DC news, it would not be a podcast that Kal-El is on if he didn't get to talk just a little bit of trash about the Batmans because he's a Superman fanboy. So, this isn't the newest story, but it has been pretty much confirmed. Go ahead and talk about our boy Pattinson.
So, imagine this. So there was a news article that said that Pattinson was sent home from Warner Brothers because he refuses to work out. He refuses to work out on the regimen that they put him on to play the Batman, and they're fed up with it, and they send him home. So, yeah.
So, okay. So, as you all probably know, he did get the he tested positive for COVID-19, and he was sent home to self-isolation. But there have been multiple sources that have reported the fact that he's not working out and all that. He even said in an interview that he doesn't believe like that's necessary. That's not a thing he has to do, and that the performance he's gonna give is gonna speak for itself and all that. And
he's basically going indie on you.
But here's
like, I'm an actor. I'm not a bodybuilder.
Here's the thing though, is like as an artist and as someone who cares about your craft, sure, I get what you're saying. But if he's saying that it's all about the performance and what he's going to do, I feel like he's missing a fundamental aspect of the character. In that, not every superhero has to be super big and jacked.
Especially when you don't have superpowers.
Right. Batman does. Not just because he doesn't have superpowers, but because that plays into the psyche of the character. He trains his body to its physical limit. He masters every form of martial arts possible.
Part of his insanity.
To become this weapon of vengeance because he's fucking insane. Because he's not normal. Yes, he's a billionaire and he could use his wealth to lift freaking neighborhoods out of poverty, and he could do so much good for the world if he wanted to. And yes, he does kind of do those things, but he also wants to beat the trash, beat bloody criminals in dark alleys because he's fucked up. He's not normal. No. And part of that is him getting jacked. Yeah. That ties into the psychology of the character. So if you don't get that, then it makes me worried that you don't really understand the character. And if you want,
he doesn't.
And you don't have to if the writing's good enough. But if you want to come at me with this artistic shit of being like, oh, well, fucking my performance.
My craft. It's about my craft, bro.
Then you need to understand the character you're playing. And if you don't, then that's part of it. And as you said off camera about Ben Affleck.
Yeah, we were talking about it. So like it's no secret, I was not a fan of the announcement of casting Ben Affleck to play the Batman for the Justice League and Batman vs Superman. And then I was talking to these guys about it. Like, immediate respect came after I saw how jacked he got for the character. And that's the difference of a good actor against a horrible actor. But that's what it is, man. You have to understand the character that you are playing.
Right.
So it's not about whether you want to work out or not. It's about the fact that if you want to play this guy, you should be this.
Well, and that's the difference
You know
between
what I mean? Like,
Affleck is a comic book nerd. He's a fan of Batman
he
his whole
gets
life. He knew the second he got cast, I got to get in the best shape of my life.
Yeah, it's
I
the
have
same,
to get jacked.
same thing that we talk about with Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's been in shape. He like the guy's been shredded for a long time. He's never been big though.
Yeah.
And the moment he got the Superman character, he got jacked.
Right.
And that's the commitment.
It-
But what's the common denominator? Henry Cavill's a nerd.
Exactly.
That's what I was
And
going to say
So
that
he
too. Like
gets
everybody that really gets into these characters and builds himself to look like these characters are people that are actually invested and they like the characters and they're into that genre or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Henry Cavill with Witcher, he's a gamer. He loves
he
the
gets
Witcher
it, yeah.
games and the books. Same
Hugh Jackman. So Hugh Jackman wasn't a big nerd before, but he got into it after getting cast, and you could see his progression and why he gave a shit more and more and more to where like the last few movies he was in insane shape.
Yeah,
because he cared.
And there again, like it comes back to my point of like this is exactly why I was extremely upset with the casting of Robert Pattinson. Audience, I don't hate Batman. As a matter of fact, I love Batman. Okay, I have issues with the character. I have issues with the popularity of the character, but I love the guy. I love. You know, you can't love Superman without loving Batman. When you can't love Batman without loving Superman.
We've had this argument off camera.
The reason I was upset at this casting was I felt from the get-go that he just wasn't going to get it, right? And for every nerd in the world, you know this. To us, it's more important than just who's playing the role. It's not just about who's playing the role and what you look like. Right. You want them to care because these are the characters that you have loved for decades. To us, it's not about a contract.
Right.
To us, it's not about a paycheck.
Maybe that's not fair, but that's just how it is.
But it should be though, because that's their craft, right? That's what he's claiming to be.
Right, and so like you're saying, not just to look like them or whatever to portray the character, to love the content, to love that. Like the same thing with Dwayne Johnson. I didn't know that he was part of the planning for Shazam.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to originally put Black Adam, Shazam,
he said no.
and that other villain in
in
one movie. And he's like, no, this is going to be too big.
Yeah.
Shazam needs his own movie with whatever villain, and Black Adam should have his own movie. And then eventually we get them both together.
Right.
Yes.
And that was the best idea, I think, ever. And he's like, because he cares, he wants it to do
And that's
right.
a guy
He
with
wants
like
to do it right.
Right.
long-term plan in mind. Because he would have got a payday for Shazam. Shazam would have made double the money if The Rock was in it, at least. But he's like, no, it's not about the short term. It's not about just getting a paycheck.
Exactly.
He wants to do this long term.
Right.
I wish that there was some respect for the nerds of the world. Like you know, are the teenagers that were fans of Twilight gonna watch the Batman because he's in it? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Are they gonna make some money that way? Yeah, for sure. Is there gonna be a great deal of disappointment to us when you see a 150-pound Batman?
I think what they're gonna think what they're gonna do is they're gonna hide it. I feel like every superhero movie now, the cliche is they have like their shirtless scene. There's not gonna be any of that.
No.
And if you
can't have it.
And if you notice, like the suit when they do show that one shot of him, the suit is very loose fitting. Not the bat suit. I'm talking he's in just a suit.
Yeah.
It's very loose fitting.
Yeah,
and
because you can't show how skinny.
And then even the bat
again,
suit, it's not like Henry Cavill's or Affleck's where it's meant to, or Shazam's or whatever, where it's meant to mold and like show the muscle.
It's not.
It looks more like armor.
It's meant to hide it. Yeah.
So he looks fine in the costume, but you're right. They're gonna do everything to hide that.
But so then again, and tying into our top 5, is that worth it?
No, that's my.
It's not worth. So is the level of disappointment to your true fan base worth the casting of this individual?
But I feel like to them, he is a name. He's a name in Hollywood. He has his own fan base, and to them, he's a good actor. And so it's not. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Somebody hold me back.
I don't agree with any words coming.
The Twilight fan base to become the new Batman fan base?
I am not agreeing.
That's
with
what you just said.
Any words coming out of my mouth, I'm playing devil's advocate to your points.
Need a beer.
So people run around.
I am
Team Batman.
Team Batman over here, like yeah. You know
I'm
what?
Just saying.
I recant my statement. I too would want the Twilight fan base to be the new Batman fan base.
It needs
because
to be,
that will prove my point.
It needs
Batman
to be
sucks.
understood that that's not what I want to believe. I'm playing devil's. I'm thinking from a studio exec's point of view.
This is why I'm invited to this show. This is it.
You're never invited again.
No, I mean seriously. I just disappointed.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And like, there was a point in my life when I was an advocate for like martial arts and working out and like doing this stuff. And something that bothered me a lot was when you come to an unranked fighter and you go, hey man, like the top ranked fighter just fell out of the fight. You have 2 weeks, you have a title fight, and they go, yeah, I'm not ready. Or a boxer, you know, oh
you
yeah,
should
I'm
always
not ready.
be ready. What do you mean you're not ready?
Right.
That's just it. So to me, it's about caring for what you do. So if you are an actor and you want to play the part of Batman, which is, man, like, I'm not the biggest Batman fan. I'm a Superman fan. He's my number 2 guy. But if you come to me and if I was an actor and you're like, hey man, we're gonna make a twist and have a Mexican Batman, I'd be like, yeah, bro. You know, like, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I will strive to be ready for that if I was an actor. Thankfully, I'm not an actor, so I eat a lot of cheeseburgers. But if I was,
El Dark Knighto.
yeah, like it could be, we could make it a thing. But you know what I'm like, to my point though, if that's your job, man,
Senor Batman,
and you get the honor, because to all of us nerds in the world, it's an honor to play this character. And you're gonna come at me with like, yeah, I sprinkle some protein on my tuna and call it a good day, like, bro.
But the thing is like he doesn't care about the character. He cares about his craft. That's the difference, and that's why it's just funny. So that's the thing. It's like you watch that Batman trailer, and I loved everything about it except for when I saw him out of costume. Every shot with him out of costume, I hated.
Right.
Everything else about it looked like a great movie.
he was wearing his dad's suit and he was really emo.
So here's an epiphany that I had, okay, about the Batman thing and the Superman thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if I ask you, let's play the game. Welcome to my table game for tonight's podcast. This is Kal-El running the show. So I'm not gonna ask you to name the top 5. Name the top 5 DC villains. Go quickly.
Joker, Lex Luthor,
Darkseid,
Doomsday. Fucking Scarecrow came to my head, but I don't think he's top 5.
Well, that didn't work.
Your point was you wanted us to name a bunch of Batman villains.
Because that's normally what happens. And I have run this experiment a lot, actually, because I get into these arguments with my wife. And so I've run this experiment a lot, and 4 of the top 5 are usually the Joker, the Penguin, the Riddler, and Two-Face. That's
did you say just Batman?
No,
I was doing DC.
I said DC.
Okay. So his point was he wanted to say DC, and his point he was trying to make was that we were going to list a bunch of Batman villains.
Right.
Now that said, you're asking a DC superfan.
Yes.
But
Agreed.
also,
but
most
of the time,
I'll give you Two-Face. You can fuck off with Penguin and Riddler. They are not upper echelon.
I'm just telling you what I've gotten.
I get it.
I've gotten from people, and to be fair, I'm not asking.
Those
just
are the most
nerds.
known, and those are people. Yeah, people would say those.
Like every time I go to work, I'm like, whether I'm working with a nerd or not, I'm like, hey man, like name the top 5 DC villains, and they're like, what's DC? And I'm like, da da da, and they're like, oh yeah, easy, the Joker, the Penguin, like that.
Right.
And so
there's naming Batman villains. Because this rogues gallery is the most notable. It's the most well known.
It's usually 3 or 4 of the top 5 on everybody's mind are Batman villains.
Right.
Batman as a movie, right, has been carried by their villains, man. That's
100%.
And so you watch this trailer for this movie.
It's all about
what are you excited about?
It's the villain. It's Riddler. It's this portrayal of Riddler looks fucking amazing.
So I have this theory, and Warner Brothers, friends of the show, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Warner Brothers, it's okay with the concept of having the absolute best villains on screen and having that carry the Batman. And to us, that's disrespectful and furthermore disappointing.
I almost threw a punch when you said that. Like, I love you and I would never do that. But those words came out of your mouth and my brain was like, kill him because he's wrong. So
you don't think Warner Brothers is okay with the fact that you're going to be so in love with the Riddler that you don't care who plays
I think Batman. They're okay with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. You're right in your point.
And it's wrong.
But the nerd in me is just like, no.
I know that. I'm just proving a point to you that this is why Warner Brothers can't get it
You're right. My outrage is proving your point.
Yes, thank you. So this happens a lot. But this is my theory with the Batman. And this is why I believe that to them, like the casting of the Batman is just not as important to them.
No, because they got the villains right.
As it should be. Because they know, man. They have to do this little surveys that I do on my off time at a much greater level. And they're like, hey, what do you care about the Batman? Man, the the Joker for the Dark Knight, like that did it for them. That's all everybody cared about. And Christian Bale played a badass Batman.
Dude, even in the Burton movies, he was second fiddle to the villains.
He was.
And that's because Burton's like a kooky, like fucking weirdo.
Because he's a dark guy. Yeah.
But still, he was especially in that second movie, he was like the fourth most important thing in that movie. So,
so I rest my case. Yeah. And is it right? Absolutely not, because the Batman is.
But then to the studio, to build on your point, they're covering their bases because they are getting an actor with a name. They're getting an actor with a following.
See, and I just have such a tough time agreeing with that because I don't consider this guy a household name in Hollywood.
Yeah, do you know who he is?
I just don't. Patterson?
Yeah.
The Twilight guy.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what he's known for most.
Bam.
Yeah, I agree.
Is it right? No, but it's a thing.
I just don't think that makes him a household name in Hollywood. That makes him a teenage wonder for a couple of years. Anyways, I was upset at the casting from the get-go. I gave Captain Mal a lot of crap for this casting from the get-go, and the stuff that we're uncovering is exactly why. And I'm not saying I was right. Like, no, I'm actually upset that I was right. We talked.
You want it to be good.
We talked off camera several times, and I said, you know what? I hope he takes it seriously. I hope he proves me wrong, but he's not. That's the bottom line.
Wait, here's what I think is going to happen after that trailer. I think it's going to be a good movie. No thanks to him. Thanks to him.
Dude, like I was beyond excited when I watched that trailer. I was in. I bought into it.
Almost anybody else. If that was Ben Affleck in that trailer, I would have lost my shit for joy. Like, that looked amazing.
Would you
rather
have the Batman from Titans or Pattinson?
You mean fucking Sir Friendzone?
Sir Friendzone.
From Jorah Mormont?
Yeah.
Him. Yes.
The old Batman?
I would rather have Grandpa Batman.
I would rather
Batman. Are you kidding me?
Batman.
Yeah,
I would rather I play Batman at 240 pounds than this guy. Like, we can make a suit that hides this. I know. You got money? I will put way more. Listen, give me 8 months, and I will be at the gym.
You will train harder than Pattinson ever will.
I've done it before. I know it's in me. Like, it will be harder now because I'm a lot older than the first time I did it. But I've dropped a lot of weight in a short amount of time. Listen, Warner Brothers,
friend of the show.
If you're having second thoughts and you're buying into the Dark El Nido, here's your guy. Here's your guy.
Right.
I'm just saying, bro.
All right. So that was well played. That was our news. And anytime Kal-El's here, we can never have a short news segment.
I'm sorry.
43 minutes. All right.
Oh my God.
Let's move on to our top 5 countdown. Don't apologize because that was quality content, sir. That was good stuff. But, all right, so this was your countdown.
Yeah.
So you will start.
Okay.
Tell the kids at home what this countdown is, and let's get into
my
it.
top 5, the weirdest countdown ever, because I just went out on a limb. And so I've been thinking a lot lately about what, if anything, could you do to fix a movie that you generally like, but there's a part of it that disappoints you, okay? So with my number 5 is the casting of the best Spider-Man ever, Mr. Tobey Maguire. What the fuck were you thinking? The movies weren't bad, man, except for him.
Except that he's a 35-year-old man.
Except for him. It's like the easiest fix ever. Like, I watch those movies over and over because I am too a Spider-Man fan. Right. And I watch them and I'm like, man, this is a good film. Yeah. Except for Tobey. So easy fix, cast literally anyone.
So to touch on your point though, it's funny because Spider-Man 1 is good, 2 is really good, 3 is garbage.
3 is garbage. Yes.
I feel like all of them have aged poorly,
right?
But at the time,
they were good,
and they're still watchable. If they have a certain level of cheese, you just gotta accept. You can still watch 1 and 2. Yeah. But what's funny though, because what I think is kind of the worst part of those movies, which is Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst and their complete lack of chemistry. It's like watching 2 mannequins try to like have emotional romantic scenes with each other. It's terrible.
If you were a girl, maybe T. Clark can answer this better. But if you were a girl, would you wanna make out with Tobey?
Well, and not only that, but I'm sorry. But here's the thing. So Kirsten Dunst, not to get too shallow here, she's very attractive. Mary Jane Watson is supposed to be supermodel hot. That's why the relationship with her and Peter is awesome, but also something he never thought would happen.
Right.
Never looks
like
that way.
literally out of his league. Like,
Yeah, not only that, Kirsten Dunst in the role is not good. Like they have zero chemistry.
None.
So, but here's what's funny. Those are the first two are good movies.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the worst part, which is the exact opposite of Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 are garbage. But the best, kind of the only good spot is Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Is insanely good.
You buy into it from
100%. It's so crazy that it's so like the exact opposite thing. Yeah. But we'll play.
That's my number.
I like that. All right. Okay. So for my list, Kal-El didn't give us specifics. He just kind of threw this really broad thing out there. And so I did my own headcanon on how this should work. And T. Carl agrees with me. So it's a movie that was ultimately disappointing and what we would change, what we would fix, but not rewriting the entire movie, not changing everything in the series. It's like if I could change a scene or an aspect of the movie that I think would not necessarily make it 100% great, but just fix it a little, make it a little bit better. Now, I tried to stick with movies for the most part. I did, except I had to say this because, so this is a series.
Okay.
And it is a series finale episode.
Oh.
And it's not going to save it by any means. But if I got to change one thing, if I were in the writing room for Game of Thrones season 8 finale. No, but here's the thing. So
I'm trying to think.
So here's the thing. If I'm just sitting there and I assume I'm mad and I've been day drinking a lot because of the course of this season, I haven't gotten to say anything.
We all
I
did.
just see what's happening. And they're just like, all right, Captain Mal. Yeah, first name Captain, last name Mal. What's your input for this series finale of Game of Thrones? I'm like, well, we need to change all the things.
Everything.
All the things need to be different. And he's like, can you narrow that down? I was like, no, I'm going to do the opposite. We need to rewrite the whole season. No, we got to change. Okay. I got to change one thing.
Yeah.
So understand, I'm not going to save the episode. And understand that changing one thing isn't going to save most character arcs or most storylines.
Yeah.
But it's going to save one. You have Jaime kill Cersei. You have him go back to King's Landing, and as she hugs him, he fucking stabs her through the chest.
Yes.
And he falls down.
Jon Snow did.
But except how that didn't make any sense.
Right. Like this would.
So here's
that
the
would
thing.
Been awesome. That would.
So you think like
thought that was gonna happen?
We have this amazing character arc for Jaime Lannister, arguably the best in the entire series.
Yep.
And it is completely undone when he leaves Brienne to go be with Cersei.
Right.
Everything that happened over 8 years,
like,
none of it mattered.
No.
The change you make is he goes back to make sure she dies. But then,
she needs to.
Rather poetically, also dies with her.
Yeah.
Because
after he kills her.
he stabs her and then he just stays holding her body and lets the rubble fall on him. Because that's poetic. Because yes, this is an abusive, toxic relationship, and despite knowing it's bad for him, he can't completely get away with it. And every person in the world could relate to that. Yeah. But he had to make sure she died because that's what had to happen. You give me that one change and I'm like, you know what? Not only do I still buy your character change, do I still buy your character arc, do I still love you as a character, but you immediately become humanized and super relatable because you kind of got out of it, but not all the way. And that's everybody in the world.
I really like that.
All of a sudden it's fine. And it's one little change.
Yes.
But you take that away, and it's one of the most disappointing aspects of that entire series.
Yes.
You change that. I'm not happy with the finale overall. It doesn't completely change my opinion and everything, but it fixes one character that I really like.
It fixes
for
one
me.
Thing.
Just one.
No, that's good.
And that's what I would do.
It falls into the top 5.
Yeah.
I like it. Very good.
It's not a movie, but...
Very good number 5.
Thank you. All right, that's my number 5.
All right, my number 5 is...
Spider-Man.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Like all of it.
Too soon,
bro.
We'll get there. Trust me.
All 5 of mine are different Spider-Man movies. No,
that's what I'm expecting.
Except for Spider-Verse, that's the only good one.
That's actually what I'm expecting. So.
No, I don't know if you guys remember a movie called Brightburn. All right.
Oh, Brightburn.
This came out, right? Yes. The trailer was awesome. It looked like it was going to be like, everybody was like, looks like, Superman if he was raised,
the red Superman.
Yes. The bad, he had bad intentions and did bad things with his superpowers, right? We went to the theater to watch that.
Yeah.
So disappointed. The end of the movie showed what they should have done. I would have changed that. Yeah, they should have done bigger events and showed what he could do with his power. Actually, earlier in the movie.
Gotcha.
Because it was all in the town. It was all it was gruesome. It was okay, whatever, but it was really disappointing. It let me down.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the closing credits and all the news flashes and everything he was doing, like the news reports and stuff, like this is what they should have showed earlier in the movie. What are they doing?
Right.
And he did bigger things that made it more ominous. Like he just wasn't enough. Like it was like, okay. Question?
This is
there's a question in the audience. Sorry.
I know this is a top 5, but when you're done, could I have a 5A? Because I have some shit to say about Brad. I know. I have a change for. I'm annoyed. I didn't even think of Brightburn.
Right? That's how annoying it was. I forgot about it. I almost forgot about it.
I pretended it didn't happen. I have the change for Brightburn that I think would have made it better.
Okay.
I think this can fit.
All right.
But before, hang on. So we actually did trailer reactions and a review for Brightburn.
Oh man.
And what's hilarious is we did one trailer reaction for the teaser and then a full trailer reaction, and we are so excited, so hyped, and then watch our review and we're just like, the fuck?
What the fuck just happened? Yeah.
Okay, so to touch on your
the movie should have been named The Twilight Zone.
Here's what would have worked for me. So the concept of
wait, is he done?
Are you done?
No, yeah, pretty much. That's basically what I would have changed. Right. Because we're not talking about the whole movie.
Just because he's Cuban, you don't get to just like annihilate his.
But I know he's gonna agree with me. Is kind of the thing, and it's building on his.
Does.
Okay, so here's the deal.
All right, go.
It's T. Crawler. I'm gonna pretend to be T. Crawler. All right. Spider-Man. All right. Okay, here's the thing. So the concept of we are lucky. I'm talking about the fictional DC universe, and that Superman happened to be raised by the best people in the world. Right,
absolutely.
By the two best, most moral people in the world,
right.
To instill in him a sense of like what it means to like the meaning of life and all that kind of shit, right?
Right. Yeah.
So just imagine kind of a more real world scenario where a child all of a sudden realizes he doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to. He doesn't have to listen to anybody. Doesn't have to take any shit. Mm-hmm. Could be super creepy and go after the girl he wants. Like there are so many horrible avenues that can go down. There's so many terrifying Twilight Zone-y things you could take with that.
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see a gradual like degrading of this child's morality
character
as he just realizes, nah, I don't fucking have to.
I don't have to listen.
And
I don't have
fuck
to
you.
do what you.
And you could keep everything in the movie the same, but when the guiding principle behind it is just, nah, I don't fucking think so. It's horrifying because then it leads you down this spiral in your brain of like, would I be a good person if I didn't have to be? If I wasn't confined by the laws and morality and regulations and all that.
It's the argument we've always had.
Yeah.
Like how unlucky will we be if Superman wasn't the
best person in the world?
Right. And we've all played that game. Like, can you just imagine for 1 second if he was a douchebag? Like, we'll be done.
But, so then you sprinkle on top of that the it-driven nature of a child. Like you don't have the cognitive ability to rationalize and be sacrifice things you want for greater, all that kind of stuff. No, you're an 8-year-old or however old he is, and you're just like, I'm gonna do whatever I want because nobody in the world can stop me.
Yeah. Right.
That would have been horrifying. Instead, what we got is, the ship is telling him in his language to burn it all down, kill everybody, all the people. And that was the cheapest shortcut.
It's a very loose play on schizophrenia.
It completely took me out of it.
If
you change that, I'm not saying the movie's all of a sudden like an instant classic.
No.
But I can get behind the message of it.
A lot more potential.
Yeah. That's a good 5A.
Thanks. That's a good number 5.
That's a very good number 5, T. Crawler.
Yeah.
I appreciate the Latin influx. Which
not
there
Cuban,
was none.
Just for the record.
There was none. No, yes, you are.
No, just for the record.
And your heritage. Anyways, number 4, if I may. So, my number 4 is also a TV series. Uh-huh. And I have to say...
You said films when you told me the list. You said films. And so I thought movies.
There's a possibility. But did you listen? No. It doesn't matter?
So
no. Okay. So here's my number 4 is a series also. And it's just, this is my life with Cap now, like every day. So anyways, my number 4 is a series that I loved from season 1 to the end, except for one season, and that is Dexter.
Ooh, okay.
Absolutely love the character. I love the conflict. The writing was phenomenal. The directing was great, except for season 5. It was just, I think I watched season 5 in a day because it was so bad. But anyways, I just wanted to get through it. But on the season finale, there is no reason to kill Deb.
Okay.
Right.
There's no reason to kill Deb.
Right.
And I don't care what you do with Dexter. But that's the one thing I would change. That will completely make up that episode for me.
You got a 4A?
And he's got a 4A, man.
4A, a 5B, however you want to say. I got thoughts.
This is the episode of the sub thoughts. So anyways, that's my number 4. It's Dexter. Man, you don't have to kill Deb. You don't have to.
I agree, kinda. So here's the thing. It depends on what you do with Dexter. And I said that when we did our top 5 worst series finales, I forget what podcast episode
Dexter
was
was in it, yeah.
Dexter was in it, and my changes. If you kill Deb, that's fine. One, the way they killed her was stupid. She needed to go out like a baller.
That's
right.
what I'm
So
yeah.
But two, if you kill her, throughout this entire series, he's been constantly at odds with the Dark Passenger, the monster,
right.
his pull to do this evil thing, and the code that he has instilled by Harry, and his humanity, which was initially represented by Harry, then by Deb, and then by his kid.
Yeah.
And so if you are killing Deb, sure, but you're representing the death of his humanity.
Yeah.
So then
or part of it,
or at least a giant part of it. So then he has a choice to make. Right? Do you embrace the monster or do you try to be a person? So then where this would have worked is the change that I would have done when I talked about our worst finales list. And so what I said they should do, keep everything the same, except that when he gives the kid to Hannah McKay, which makes 0 sense because she's a serial killer. What you are doing, that is a representation of
bad
him.
parenting.
Part of his humanity died. And he's killing the rest of it. He's giving the rest of his humanity off to her because apparently she's a good person and she's going to go raise him. And he's embracing the Dark Passenger. He's embracing the animal. And so the change that you make is when he goes off to wherever, to Alaska, to be a freaking lumberjack.
He's still a murderer.
You change. The only change you make is as he's driving to his cabin, you play the monologue from season 1, episode 1. Today's the day.
Yes.
It's going to happen again. Then when he gets to the cabin, sits down, you zoom to his eye, and you see a dude on the table.
Yes, absolutely. So I couldn't agree more. So my change is with the way things are.
What?
With the way things are.
That would have been, and you would have cheered because you're like, he's not only Dexter, he's Dexter fucking Prime. He's gonna be just the monster.
Right, but so with the way they ended it,
it's horrible.
With the way they chose to go,
one of the most disappointing
I would say
finales.
there's no reason to kill that.
So it's because the original plan was they wanted to kill Dexter. And Showtime was like, no, you can't.
Right.
So then so I agree. If you're not gonna do something like this, then
no
you don't
reason
kill Deb.
It's
because the reason they killed her is because they couldn't kill Dexter, so they needed to kill somebody. They thought. No, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And so
No, I agree. But they didn't have to kill Deb. If you're not gonna kill Dexter, and if you're not gonna keep Dexter as a serial killer,
then what's the point in killing her?
That's it. So that's the change.
Why is he even running?
I'm just
the
saying,
cops weren't even after him. The cops weren't after him. So like, why is he even run? Why did he go to Alaska
why are you running,
to be
bro?
a lumberjack? Why are you running?
Why are you running?
What's happening?
Listen, the way it ended.
Why are you making me mad at the show again? Sorry.
It's what I do.
Shut up now.
The way that it ended, for me, which is my top 5, it would have been a little bit better.
So stupid.
A little bit better.
So fucking stupid.
If you don't kill them, that's it. That's my number 4.
I shouldn't be able to write a better finale.
All right, what's your number 4?
We're so invested though. Like, I think that
show ended so long ago, and I am viscerally mad all over again because you brought it up again. Because you're right, because we're invested. Because you can't, because that show through 4 seasons,
we're nerds.
Through 4 seasons was so good.
And then 5 was awful, and then 6 was beyond good.
Yeah, so it bounced back.
It bounced right back.
Yeah,
6 was one of the best seasons.
The end of 7 when Dev finds out. Fuck!
Right!
You had so much potential, and then
this is Showtime, friends of the show. I have a message for you as well.
Bring it back and do it better.
This is how much trauma you have created in my life. Dexter is one of my favorite characters for many reasons. I can identify with the guy, etc. At some point,
we kind of get it. Yeah.
At some points, I was scared. I was terrified watching this show because I was like, "Wait a minute! I think a lot like Dexter. Am I a serial killer? This is some bullshit."
Yeah.
Come to find out, I'm not. But anyways. The trauma you have created is such that my wife has not seen Dexter, and I cannot bring myself to make her watch it. because I know how angry I will be at the end. That's how much trauma you've created. Like, in essence, keeping me from sharing my awesome experience through your first 7 seasons with someone else. End the story. Sorry, that brought something.
It sounded like you were slapping Showtime. So in essence, I can't even.
Friends of the show. Friends of the show. Bam. Number 4. God.
My number 4, Superman Returns. So.
You can fix one thing about it?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I can't salvage this movie without.
Damn, bro.
I can't salvage this movie without just scrapping it, rewriting the entire thing. Right. But as we talked about before, part of the reason this movie is so bad is because of the missed potential. Yeah. Right? Because you had Brandon Routh and you didn't allow him to be Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
Because he and Kate Bosworth had no chemistry. Because Kevin Spacey, who at the time would have probably been a decent Lex Luthor, all of a sudden his entire scheme is like a real estate fucking scheme again. Right? Like, so it's so ridiculous. So my changes would be, how about, but I get why you want to keep it as a sequel to the Donner movies, right?
Yeah.
You want the nostalgia, you want to have the music, and I'm fine with that. And Brandon Routh even kind of looks like him, right?
Yeah.
So as Legends of Tomorrow and the Arrowverse crossovers and all that showed us that Brandon Routh can be an amazing Superman. So you cut that loose, you let him be him a little bit.
And maybe
you recast Lois Lane and you actually find an actress he has chemistry with. You can keep everything else the same, but maybe let's change the real estate problem. And why don't we do something that I've been saying they should do for years? And I don't know, bring in Brainiac. And in bringing in Brainiac, we could have the landing of Kara. We could have like Supergirl show up after Brainiac has decimated her homeworld. And so the whole point of this movie was supposed to be him feeling isolated, him feeling alone, but realizing that he does have a connection. He's not alone because he has that stupid kid with Kate Bosworth and all that, which is dumb as shit.
Yeah.
But his realization and his connection can be in Kara. It could be in Supergirl fucking showing up and realizing that he's not completely alone. It could be the two of them taking down Brainiac and saving freaking the bottled city and all that. You could do a lot with that character and with that storyline and introduce the world to Brainiac, who is a freaking awesome character that like nobody knows about because he's never been in a live action movie. Right. So I realized I said I'm not going to rewrite the whole thing, and I kind of just did. But all right, Cal, go.
That was like 7 things.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry. I had one, and then I kept changing.
The only time
wouldn't that be a better movie though?
It would have. The only time they bring up Brainiac is in the series Kal-El, which was kind of slow for me. I was excited for that. Like, okay, we're gonna see Brainiac. We're gonna see some other stuff. We're gonna see way before, like ancestry, the history, right? Some older stuff, right?
The backdrop.
And it was so slow.
Watch
why?
The animated movie Superman Unchained. That is about Brainiac, and it's the introduction. Well, Kara's already there, but it shows what it is. And it's really good. That's one of those you just watch like, why isn't this a live action movie? Why haven't they just do exactly this, but with Henry Cavill? Like, this is
when I wish I was like a multi-millionaire. Like, I'd be like, we're making this, we're making that,
exactly. It's not hard.
That's a good number 4, though.
Thank you. I realize it's kind of skewed a little because
which is actually that he's number
7 things.
3 already, but 4. T-color. Let's get some Q.
All right, so my number 4 is also a series.
Yeah, it wasn't just
me. Mine would be for Netflix's Iron Fist. So the change I would make...
Change everything.
You can't change everything. That's the rule, right? We can't change everything. I change one thing.
I just did.
Or a couple things.
Here we go.
Because he named 7 on the last one.
So, like 2, 3, 4.
So here's what I would change about Iron Fist. One, for sure, would be the fight choreography, which they did for season 2, right? But to have a guy that's supposed to be a master in Kung Fu in this art to fight so slow. It's like he had Kung Fu done at a strip mall karate studio, like dojo. I swear to God, like he learned karate. The fight scenes were so.
They were bad.
Cobra Kai could have just whooped his ass. Like, I mean,
it's because the editing too. The 1,000 cuts per fight scene.
Right.
When you just give us Daredevil that has these long continuous takes.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I didn't understand it. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, what are they doing? So yeah, in season 2 they did change that. They got 2 fight choreographers choreographers.
You said it right the first time, and then you just started messing.
Yeah, like
The one was from Creed. One of the fight choreographers were from Creed. I forgot where the other one was from, but you could see the difference in the fighting style.
Right.
Way faster, way more action. I think my change would be to bring Danny Wu, who did the fight choreography for
like the man.
The Badlands, the AMC series of Badlands, Into the Badlands. That series is fucking awesome, and the fighting in there is so. Like I saw the off season what they do, like when they practice with the cables, and they actually have like almost like they have the mat set up, and they're actually learning martial arts. And all the actors and actresses are like, I'm actually learning martial arts that are actually like you can use this stuff, and you can tell when they fight. And it's not just the fit people that are fighting. You have the overweight guy that's freaking fighting, and he's like, and it's not overdone. They're not jumping on top of the treetops. They're doing a lot of flips and stuff, but they're not like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type stuff.
Right.
This is the kind of stuff that should have been in Iron Fist, and that's one of the main things I would have really changed for Iron Fist. And the other thing is just that again they changed it in 2, and it sucks that they didn't do another one.
Another series, you mean?
But like, another season. If they do, they should even just cast another person as Iron Fist. I didn't like that guy.
Yeah, he was a disappointment.
But the fact that he could only use his Iron Fist like once a fucking like 24 hours, like
well, kind of. It's like, but in the second season, they're just like, how many times did you like that fist? Like, he could do it whenever it's convenient for the plot.
Right, and then for the first season, it's like maybe I'm just talking about the first season because that's where all the shit was like. It was horrible. Like,
light it up. I can't.
I have to do my chi or my whatever the hell. Like he has to charge.
I'm so tired. Like,
but then in season 2, he's doing it like 4 times.
Have a cup of fucking coffee and charge that shit up.
I felt like it was a series about me. I'm like, hey, do this, honey. I'm tired. I can't.
I just ate a huge lunch. I can't right now.
No, I can't do this.
Get a quad shot, you
That's
bitch.
good.
Let's
That's
go.
good. That's a good number 4.
That's my number 4.
I like it.
All right.
All right, number 3 for Kal-El. So as usual, my top 3 are mixed and muddy still to this moment, but I think I'm gonna go with Game of Thrones.
Another show.
Yeah, season finale. And
I'm glad it's not just. I thought I was gonna get shit for that pick.
no,
I'm glad it's not just me.
Not at all. Like, I think everybody out there, like, so here's my hope. My hope was actually that between the 3 of us, we will have enough shit about Game of Thrones that HBO friends of the show will watch this and be like, hey, we'll just take all their ideas and remake this shit and it'll be okay.
Or real talk, just give us a little call, a little text.
Yeah.
Listen,
we'll rewrite the finale for free. I won't even charge you.
I will say right now, he's speaking for himself. I will charge you a fraction of what you're paying right now.
I'll do it for free, but I want all the credit.
Studio, bro.
I want all the credit.
Like, studio.
I don't care.
Think big.
All the credit.
Think big. Hey, for a fraction. I'm his agent. He's speaking out of turn right now. As your future lawyer, I advise you to recant your statement, sir. Okay, so number 3, Game of Thrones. Why in the fuck? Like, man, Arya.
That's
the ending for Arya, bro.
Yes, God, could have so much better.
You spent 7 seasons in what I think was some of the best character growth, and character build up ever. She's my favorite fucking character from that series.
But what's your show?
The ending, dude. I
wanted
wanted
her to
her
go on a cruise,
jump
basically go on a cruise, and you're like, we're gonna explore. Like, really?
Okay, so I felt that her ending was one of the only ones that kind of made sense for the character. She's going to explore and go to places that no one else has ever gone and go do things and like break the mold of not being just some fucking lady that's gonna get married and like sit in a castle. My complaint though is that she just forgot that she has the magic face changing powers. Like she just didn't know. When she forgot I could do that.
She did her stuff and killed the freaking, what was that one old guy that she killed when she slit his throat? I can't remember the names. Gosh dang it.
That was Frey. Walder Frey.
Walder Frey. When she slit his throat, when she changed, she did the thing. She changed the face.
They even see the mask when Sansa shows up.
She fed him his kids, bro.
Right. And then it's like, so I was like, oh, this is where it's gonna start, and it's just gonna get better. And like, what happened? Like,
so
like you said, she forgot that she could do it.
So my change to her ending is I wanted her. I felt like it was the best progression of a character in the sense of like she had the list, she cared about the list. Everything to her.
Finished it off.
Yeah. She should have finished the list.
No, 100%
she should have
agreed.
killed. So I'm with you. Like Jamie should have killed Cersei, and then she should have killed Jamie.
Or the change should have been like the thing that was out of character to me is
I like it.
when the Hound was just like, you need to leave now or you're gonna die, and she's like, no, I gotta fucking kill her, and he's like, do you want to be like me? No, leave. And then out of nowhere she's like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, thanks, Sandra.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit.
And so I get
all.
what they're going for is a touching moment between her
But
and the
it
Hound.
failed miserably.
No, and it should have worked.
But
like everything in that season, it was rushed and out of fucking nowhere,
Yeah.
so it felt
and
disingenuous
it didn't
and
because
not authentic.
the whole if you have a warrior vein in you, you get it. You get
You're
her,
gonna go.
You get her need
Yeah.
for revenge, man.
These
Like,
people killed her entire family. She's gonna go murder the fuck out of them.
and she spent her life getting ready for that, and she doesn't get that satisfaction. Like I don't know,
Just
man.
not. He's just not. This is what happened. He's just like, nah, and she's like, totes, and just leaves. That's not what's gonna happen.
That's not what's gonna happen with Arya. So that's my
That's fair.
three.
I
think
Yeah, it's a good one.
again, there's not one thing you can do to that entire last three episodes to fix it.
So I'll say this though,
but
I feel like her going off to explore areas that no one else has ever gone to and be an adventurous and all that would have been fine with you guys if she had done something.
Yes.
If she had finished the list or done something that felt genuine to the
Yes.
And then
So-
after her mission's complete, she's like,
Yes.
Yeah.
now I'm going to go do
So
some
how
crazy
I'm
shit.
able to sleep
Sure.
at night is I believe in my head that she went off to other worlds to continue to kill people. Like
That's your headcanon. Yeah.
yeah. But I would like to have seen that,
Right.
some of that. Like get
Okay, that's cool.
seeing her get that satisfaction. This is what she prepared for. This is what she worked for. And I'll throw this. I'll even throw this one out. You like it's gonna be crazy left field, but have her kill Jon Snow because he went pansy. You're gonna get rid of that character anyways. Have her realize like, hey, you're a pansy now. You're not a Stark.
No, so I would have so I wouldn't have had her kill the Night King. You have to have Jon Snow do it, and I feel like
Yeah, he
they
should have done
they
that.
said that they made the decision for him not to do it because it felt too obvious. Well, sometimes the obvious thing is the thing that should and needs to happen.
It's a build-up.
because narratively
Like everybody's-
that's what fits the story,
Right.
and even though it's obvious, that's what should happen.
I loved that.
Okay,
scene.
yeah, that's a cheer moment, but then all of
Loved
a
it.
sudden you realize that completely negated all the buildup for Jon Snow.
Right.
And then, fine, if you want to have him not kill the Night King, then you can't have him not be king because it's completely undercutting that character.
John was a pussy the whole time.
So here's what I'm saying: you have Jon kill the Night King, but
And
then you have
suddenly, like, grow into
no.
this person you
But
want him
then
to be?
you have Arya kill Daenerys. Because he can't do it. He can't pull it. Just you can set everything up the same,
But
even
he
though it's all
did.
rushed.
But he did.
But no, but I'm saying in this version, she kills him.
Right.
Yeah.
She kills her.
Yeah, I'm keep slapping the mic because I'm that angry. Listen,
We can talk about this for a while. We should move on. But yes.
I don't think her killing the Night King was a mistake. And again, you can talk to, let's say, 15 different like diehard Game of Thrones fans, and they'll all give you their best version of it. That's the beauty of that show.
Yeah.
I truly feel this way. Like
It sparks that kind
my
of
wife
conversation
was a
and passion.
diehard Daenerys fan all the way to the end. I was like, bitch is crazy. Bitch is crazy. The flags are there. The flags are there. And she was like, no. And, bitch was crazy. So, and then you love Jamie. Like, what was your favorite character of Game of Thrones? Daenerys. So there's a crazy guy. Listen, my favorite character was Arya. So when you say that, she shouldn't have killed the Night King, I'm like, fuck no, that was awesome.
No,
Like,
it was, and I legitimately cheered.
her sneak attack. Like,
liked Arya.
The hair.
She was-
when you see the dude's hair, and he's like, he turns and it's too late, bro. That's
No, it was good.
fucking
That was a
prime.
great moment. That was one of the saving graces
like-
of this season.
Yeah.
I just feel like narratively, you could have done something that made more sense. That's all I'm saying. But I wouldn't change that. If I got my choice to change 3 things, that wouldn't be something I changed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
There's other
bigger
shit that
problems.
got wrong.
There's bigger
Yeah.
problems. Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's move on. 'Cause we're gonna talk about this for a while.
Sorry, that's my number 3.
What are we on 3?
I keep
We're
talking.
on number 3. Spider-Man 3. So Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3.
I like you.
So
Something.
I'm not gonna rewrite the whole movie.
You should.
What I'm gonna say is there's 3 movies here. Fucking pick one. So you have the story of fucking Harry Osborn becoming the Green Goblin, which has been being built since the first movie, right? So you have an entire movie that could have been built off of that storyline and his relationship with Peter. Okay, the way they built up and introduced the Sandman was actually quite good. You understand the character, you're fucking empathetic with the character. That scene when he's like pulling himself together and like breaking apart in the back was visually amazing. Was it the strongest part of the movie? No, but could that have sustained its own movie? Yeah, that was. It didn't need to be
potential. Right,
you could have explored that a little bit more, and you had a whole fucking movie there. You didn't need to make him the one that killed Uncle Ben. That was stupid. Venom could have been its own 3 movies. The symbiote storyline could have been a trilogy of movies, but if you wanted to actually focus and condense that into one movie, you could have, and it would have been amazing. It shouldn't have been shoehorned in the last 15 minutes. This was the most egregiously insulting thing that movie did. And
to Venom.
And it's Venom. Venom, who is my favorite Spider-Man villain, being an afterthought in this movie was disgusting. Now, that is because Sam Raimi didn't want to do Venom, and the studio
he was forced to.
him
right,
to.
He was forced to.
And it is very apparent.
Yes.
But Venom...
Tobey Maguire did a fucking fantastic Venom, though.
I will reach across this table.
You mean Topher Grayson? Topher Grayson was Venom.
Listen.
And I get what they were going for. They wanted to pick somebody who was his rival and his opposite, but that is not Eddie Brock. No. I'm sorry. So I will give them, though, that Venom, he did look pretty cool in the movie, but then he talked. And never in my wildest dreams, as growing up with the Spider-Man reading 90s cartoon and reading the comic, that I hear Eric Foreman's fucking voice coming out of that character. So the movie was like not good at that point, but I was still just trying to be into it.
Some hope.
The second he opened his mouth and started talking, I was like, all right, well, there went that, huh?
This is it.
So anyway, my point is, it wouldn't have made the movie great. But you had part of the problem with that movie was that too much.
There was too much.
I feel like you could have picked any one villain, and if you would have actually given them their due, you would have had a passable movie. Specifically, Venom could have been amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's seconded by the Goblin, and Harry could have been good, and I feel Sandman could have been passable. And after the clusterfuck we got, passable would have been fine.
Yes.
That's my number 3.
Would have been better than what we got.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's my number 3.
I want to point out the level of disappointment that T. Crawler is experiencing right now.
He's just sad panda in the corner.
Friends of the show.
Watch it on the YouTube.
Watch his shoulder level. As we talk about Spider-Man, it just continues to slump down.
Again, he's the Spider-Man fanboy, and you can tell everything I'm saying. He's just like,
so true.
I'll probably get there later.
I hate you guys
it just takes me down the whole rabbit hole of fucking Venom the movie with no fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't even want to go there. I'm just when you guys started talking about that.
Yeah, that's not.
I was like,
we did get that really cool Eminem song.
Oh, stop it! Passing the torch.
Venom. He still got it.
Anyway,
when you get hit with the venom. Number 3, go.
Number 3, T. Crawler.
Number 3.
Something Cuban.
X-Men Apocalypse.
That's not Cuban.
I'm not Cuban.
Oscar Isaacs is something. All right, what do we got?
Jeez.
X-Men Apocalypse. Good.
Apocalypse. They fucked up Apocalypse.
I mean, amongst other things, they did get the
I mean, they could go into a lot of shit with the X-Men franchise, but with that one or the Apocalypse, it should have just been changed. Like he's
that should have been their Thanos.
Yeah. He is like that's what I was going to get at. He should have been their Thanos. Like he shouldn't have been that easy to beat. He should have not been the same size as them. I've always seen him. He's always like towering over. He's freaking huge, and he's ominous looking. Like again, they need to make these villains ominous. Not only do you want to be able to kind of understand where they're coming from, like you guys had already touched on previous episode of the podcast, but you want them to be something to be feared. But there was nothing there. I didn't fear him whatsoever. So he could take people's powers. Like, okay, whatever.
So can Rogue.
Like the only scene that I was like that was pretty cool was when he was in Xavier's head and he towered. Like, he looked the size he should have been.
So
that I would have changed that.
That's
for that
not
movie.
everything, but you're right because again, in the animated series, I have this vision of him in my head as being towering over everybody. And there's this shot where it's like the cover of a Creed album when they're all on the freaking mountain like overlooking the city, and it's freaking Apocalypse. Xavier's on the ground, and then he has a horseman around him. And Apocalypse is the shortest one there. And you're
wrong.
just like, well, that's
just wrong.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's again like the series. I mean, Fox fucked it up. We can go in that again. Amongst other things, could be its own episode of a podcast. But Apocalypse, it was just so I don't know, disappointing. He could have been so much more, like you said. Again, he should have been there, Thanos. Like it should have been, because with Thanos, like when freaking Infinity War, when you see the bad guy actually fulfills his plan and wins, it's like, he fucking won.
Like what just happened? Right? Yeah.
Holy shit,
That's a curveball.
There's something to worry about. Like, okay, so when you watch Endgame, you're like, okay, he's gonna do this shit again. Like, you worry about this shit, right?
And Apocalypse,
even though you know he's not, you're like, oh wait, what's gonna happen?
And Apocalypse is a super cool character because, like, one, he never in the movie never felt like an actual threat,
right?
And his big plan is just to supercharge Magneto and have him destroy the world. So, like, that's
when he's way more powerful than Magneto. Yeah,
he never comes off as way more powerful than
right.
No. But here's the thing, like. Part of the reason that character is so cool part of the reason Magneto is so cool is like you hear the shit he's saying and it's like, well, you're not wrong. You know what I mean? Like I say it all the time. If I were a mutant in the Marvel universe, I'm not saying I'm on Magneto's team. I'm just saying he's making a lot of sense.
He makes a lot of sense, exactly.
And so Apocalypse is like the way extreme of that, where you're just like, well, shit, like you're not wrong. Like if I had a really horrible life as a mutant,
it's one of those villains that you can identify with, and you're like, man, you're not completely wrong.
And then he shows up and he's like, no, we're taking it over. I'd be like, all right,
let's do this.
And like you never get that in this movie.
No,
so
not at all.
Good pick.
So if I can have a 3A, because that's
this is a very long countdown.
That's the theme of the podcast. I'm gonna go with like rewrite the entire fucking X-Men series.
We can't do the whole thing. That's why
there's good things about the X-Men series, right? And it boils down to Professor X,
right?
Patrick Stewart, killer.
Right.
Magneto, killer.
Right.
Wolverine, killer. That's about it.
But here's the thing.
Timeline, if you're a fan, like I remember people being so fucking upset when X-Men 3 came out. When Wolverine came out. Like,
this guy.
Yeah, like
mad.
we were so pissed. Mm-hmm. And so anyways, that's my 3A. Like,
no, but
just change the whole thing.
I got a 3A. I got my 3A.
Well, they're going to
don't
MCU.
rewrite everything. You had like your soft reboot with Days of Future Past. That was actually the best X-Men movie. That was fantastic.
Right. That was good.
Patrick. So that was great. Fassbender is amazing. James McAvoy is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
You had your reboot-ish, but keeping continuity kind of. They even reset the timeline to where it kind of made more sense.
And they still fucked it up.
And then you had your moment right there to be like, all right, we're riding the ship. That's why I was so excited for Apocalypse, because I was like, now we're gonna start getting into it. And I was wrong.
Yep.
Like they ruined it even worse from
even more. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Then they couldn't even keep continuity between their one movie to the next.
No, they can't. It's amazing.
It was like they were trying.
And again,
there's a lot of characters in that movie that should have been a lot more.
With a storyline that's probably the most open to a fucked up timeline.
Right.
Like if there's anything where you can fuck around with the timeline, it's the X-Men. How do you fuck that up? Seriously, guys.
Yeah.
It's
impressive.
There's a lot of characters.
You deserve a lot of credit.
A lot of characters in that movie.
No, Fox, you are not friends of the show.
Hey, get this. They
canceled Firefly.
They fucked it up.
I see what you did there.
See what I did there? Yeah, that's funny.
No, there's a lot of characters. Do you think about it that should have been more powerful than what they were?
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the cast of characters that they had. I mean, even Archangel
was like a joke, bro.
Yeah. So we could go into it a lot more.
We can spend a lot.
Also, you want to talk about fucking the timeline up? It made no sense for him to be alive in the 80s.
No,
as old as he was.
No.
That was awesome.
That whole timeline. Listen, like we complain about the Star Wars timeline a lot. Check out the X-Men.
No, the most egregious violation of timelines is the X-Men franchise.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, you just put Magneto in the different slots. Yeah. They're freaking in, like the year it was and how old he looks.
Yeah.
Like,
why were they
like,
jumping
wait a
10
minute.
years?
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender looks good for a 60-year-old.
He is good. Okay, so
right.
great
Two?
number 3 because
Yeah.
that caused like three A's. So,
And another thing.
good Lord.
All right, 3B.
I swear to you, audience, I try to come out here and have a normal time session, and these guys won't let me. So
Yeah, it's our fault.
number 2. Yeah, well, you're here every podcast. I'm just a guest. Number 2. Batman versus Superman.
You motherfucker. I'm genuinely curious. One thing? Are you only changing one thing?
One thing.
Okay, I'm curious. All right.
Doomsday.
Fair.
Okay, good.
Fucking
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
How the
Can't argue that.
How the fuck do you give the biggest villain in Superman's history like 10 minutes of screen time?
Well, also, like, if
It
I'm...
was fucking awful,
but
man.
no, but
he
fine.
wasn't. No.
The way they made him,
Stop.
too.
The way they made him look.
I was
the
saying,
way
can he
they
not
made
look
it.
like a Ninja Turtle mixed with a linebacker?
Thank
like,
you. And a fucking Triceratops, like,
like, terrible.
and then like he becomes an afterthought.
Yeah, he's Venom. He's Venom in Spider-Man 3 in this
He
movie.
becomes an afterthought. And listen, if you haven't, friends of the show, watch the first time I was on the show. Doomsday should never be an afterthought.
No.
That
like-
should have been the Doomsday should be the villain in the third or fourth Man of Steel movie.
Thank you.
And that the death of Superman should be its own story. If not a Justice League
It
movie,
should have been
it
its
should
own
be a
movie.
Justice League
Yeah,
movie.
it should have been.
Where he wrecks everybody and kills
Yes.
Superman.
Yep.
That's
Like,
what that should be.
I
That should be Justice League 4, and that's what that should be.
Like, you know, we've talked about this for a lot. Like, I love the movie. I really do. And I know a lot of people don't. I love that movie. I think it was great. But if there was one thing I could change that I think will make it better, is just leave Doomsday out of it.
Okay. So I was gonna wait for you to finish, and I was gonna say not even change something.
No, just leave him out.
Take him out of it.
Just leave him out.
You
of
don't
it.
need him in it.
You don't need him in there.
You could have them fight literally anything else.
Anything else. Yeah, anything, anybody. He's just too big. He's too big for that, for those 10, 15 minutes of
Right.
of screen time that he got. And yeah, just everything about Doomsday in that movie, just flat out disappointment.
Yep.
So
Concur.
that's my number 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know that a good Doomsday was again in the show Kal-El. Did you ever watch this show?
No.
So when they actually come across Doomsday, I forgot how he was encased in this freaking tomb that they encased him in.
Yeah.
But like he looked like it's a TV series on Sci-Fi, and he looked way better than a freaking motion picture Doomsday. I swear to God, he looked like something
Isn't that
off the
Krypton,
comic.
the show?
Oh yeah, it's Krypton. I keep calling it Kal-El. It's
Crypto.
Krypton.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
Krypton. Sorry. Did you watch the show?
No. I started to, and then I was
It's
like, I can't do
slow, but
this.
I mean,
Yeah.
he looked like
I saw the
freaking-
image of him.
Yeah,
and
he
it
looked
good.
It
way
was too
better,
slow
way
for
better
me.
than the
series
freaking
was
motion
too
picture.
slow. I
So
was like, that can't.
Going back to animated movies, watch The Death of Superman animated movie. That
Yes.
is literally what that movie should have been.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, that's my number 2.
We're at
So
2?
Cap.
Okay.
Notice I don't need notes. I'm just saying.
Okay. So this is a biggie,
Oh.
and Cal, I'm curious what your opinion is going to be.
Ooh boy, I'm excited.
Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge
This is
of
gonna
the
piss
Sith.
me off. Here we go. Oh boy.
Revenge of the Sith. Now I'm gonna unlike previous entries on this list, I'm only gonna change one thing.
You can't.
No. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Not only if I had powers, magic powers, not only would I change this entire, I would change this entire prequel trilogy from the beginning, and I feel like you have an amazing story to tell here. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep every single thing the same in episode 1, everything the same in episode 2, and everything the same in episode 3, but I'm going to change one thing in episode 3 that I don't think saves the movie, but I think would have been better.
Okay, I'm interested.
What potentially was the coolest scene in the movie became an afterthought. After Anakin turns and they wipe out the Jedi, we get 3 really quick shots of all the Jedis being murdered. Mm-hmm. We get the eluding, like, fucking killing of the younglings. I'm not saying we show that. And we get what should have been an amazing shot when they show the Jedi Temple for like 3 seconds and we just see lightsabers flying around, whatever. And then all of a sudden all the Jedi are dead. That was ridiculous. I could do it better. So, what we do is we have Execute Order 66.
Execute Order 66.
And we have cuts to all these other Jedis. First of all, Yoda's not the only motherfucker who's going to sense that coming.
No.
So,
Oh, yeah.
and even if they didn't sense it coming, every Jedi we cut to needs to have a stack of dead freaking clone troopers around them.
Right.
Yep.
They need to be. It needs to be 20-to-1 ratio at cut off guard
Right,
at least.
Yeah.
Okay, and even then, the amount of storm or clone troopers that they are losing is like in terms of numbers, they're losing most of their forces.
Yeah.
And they're getting these isolated Jedis, but they're gonna march on the Jedi Temple. And we have what was actually a dope shot of evil Anakin marching the clone troopers.
That was dope.
That was a really cool shot.
That was good.
That got zero payoff.
Yeah.
So what you do is you give us that shot and you have them roll up on the Jedi Temple where we have several dozen Jedi, let's say. Okay. And we have an amazing battle take place here.
Yes.
That the Jedi are winning.
Like a 10 or 15
that the
minute
Jedi are winning. Right? And here's the thing. So what we're supposed to believe is Anakin gets all these new superpowers. He's like, in the confrontation with Obi-Wan is like, you underestimate my new power. And we're like, bitch, what new power?
Bring it.
We haven't seen dick. Like, I don't,
Bring
what
it.
are you talking about? What have you showed me to make me think you're awesome now?
You might not see it, but I know I have it. You underestimated
It's his bitching.
Here's what we do.
Whining.
Is you have the clone troopers get overwhelmed by the Jedi, and what's the difference maker? Anakin.
Yeah.
You show him fucking mowing through there and cutting through Jedi like they are nothing. I'm talking as he's running, dead Jedi, and I'm talking, and then like they not operate fucking force lightning, force choke, like the Vader hallway scene where he's murdering people times 10.
That's really
just
good.
fucking murdering the
Like
world.
I'm playing that in my head, and that's really good.
And then if icing on the cake, when we're in shock and awe, then you give us that youngling scene, and then you're like, no!
Yeah.
So then when he does confront Obi-Wan, you know what you think? Despite knowing how 4, 5, and 6 happened, despite knowing that Obi-Wan doesn't die, you know what your brain's like? Obi-Wan's dead.
Obi-Wan's dead.
Obi-Wan's
done.
fucking
He's done.
After seeing everything
Dead.
he just did, oh yeah.
Now, if I get a 2A, I'm also going to change the I have the high ground nonsense just to make this all work better.
Well, but that's what
that's his arrogance. And no, I'm saying I would change the way he beat him.
Yeah.
But if I only get one, that's what I would do. I would give a fucking amazing
Yeah, because
Jedi.
when he says you underestimate my powers, we're thinking, yeah, dude, you are underestimating his powers because we've seen what the hell.
Because we saw what he could do.
We know what he is.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so I would agree with you 100%. I just think you can sum it up to like the one change you would make is turning the movie from a PG-13 to a rated R.
Sure. If that's what has to happen.
And I think if I had a penny for every time I have said that in my lifetime, I wish they made the Star Wars movies darker.
But
rated R. Give me darkness. Give me the full strength of what.
Sure, I'll give you that.
Empire,
but you don't have to, because you don't have to give me a bunch of blood. You can even make the head cannon of the lightsaber cauterizing. So like that's what gets you an R rating is lots of blood and shit.
Yeah.
You can kill whatever you want.
Well, they're killing,
But I mean, I feel like you can get away with it. You could do it in such a way
that is a great change.
I agree with you. Yeah, let's make it a hard R if we're going for it. If we're going for it.
When we win the lotto and
we're fixing DC, we'll just do this too.
I'm gonna need a lot more than 200 million.
But I'm just saying, wouldn't that alone?
Absolutely,
it wouldn't have saved it.
Absolutely,
But it would have made it better.
I find it extremely interesting that you went with episode 3 instead of episode 1.
No, because here's like, there's a lot you could change in episode 1, but I just think
like everything.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like if you give me one moment,
I get it.
change,
Yeah, that's good. Wow, that's really good.
That is like what would have made that a horrible movie to like a passable movie.
Yes, that's really good. I like it.
So that's my number 2.
Okay.
All right, my number 2 is going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
The old
ones or
no,
like
no,
the new ones?
not the old ones. The Michael Bay ones.
Are we gonna not hire Michael Bay?
Not hire Michael Bay. Exactly.
That's
you know where I was going.
I knew exactly where you were
going. Do not hire
with
Michael Bay because I don't want a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that sounds like the fucking Transformers.
Yeah.
When you have Shredder, because I didn't even see it. It's I don't even remember the whole movie because I watched it.
I haven't seen it. I was like, I'm not watching this.
When I heard Shredder, but then I saw Shredder, but I heard Megatron. I was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
You're like,
Like,
no.
it's no.
Right,
like, this
right,
is
right.
not
Wasn't
what it's
Shredder a
supposed
white
to be.
guy in that also?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not.
So
he's
I
not
just-
supposed to be.
My,
He's not supposed to.
it's not even a long pick. It's just don't hire Michael Bay.
Okay.
He made it just sucked.
Yeah.
Like it.
I'm gonna validate
they were
your
awesome.
point 100% by saying when I saw that he was directing the movie, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not watching that.
They looked terrible.
Like
They did look
Like,
terrible. Also,
yeah.
I was not interested at all.
yeah.
so
It's just I don't know.
that's a very good point.
Yeah, I just didn't
And
like.
Shredder
that.
was like this weird Iron Man wannabe fucking.
Iron Man / Megatron /
Yeah.
white guy that is like.
I just didn't cut it. Okay.
No offense to all our white fans.
Yeah,
but,
like,
but
friends of the show.
Shredder should not be a white guy. Like,
Listen, not all Cubans hate white people.
all right, guys, let's get down into nitty gritty.
Not Cuban.
Number one.
Okay. No big surprise. Okay. I am a lover and a hater of DC. DC Universe.
Which
friends of
Superman
the show.
You can't say all the DC universe. You're gonna say the DCEU again, aren't you?
DC. No.
Okay.
No. The Justice League.
Okay. You're getting a redo. Kinda.
We're not getting a redo. It's getting a
Spoiler alert, it's not gonna be as good as you want it to be.
better version. Yeah, it's not. It's gonna be better, but it's not gonna be as good as you want it to be. It's not a new movie. Anyways, so and we've talked about this for so long. So understanding the concept that DC Universe fell behind on the ball, and when they looked up to the sky, they're like, wait a minute. Marvel is doing the Avengers. We must catch up. We must catch up right now. So they started rushing all these characters, rushing all these movies onto you. I felt it was a great opportunity when they did the Justice League to bring in, if you're rushing this stuff, to bring in the Green Lantern, and we've talked about it. You know, the one change I would make is, since you're bringing all these characters in and you want us to buy into how amazing they are, and without any backdrop story and whatever, and just be there right now. Yeah, bring in the Green Lantern, have him take Superman up to the sun. You get the great shot of like him tossing when there's
negate how they brought him back. You would change that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the Justice League, so Wonder Woman, Batman, Flash, and Aquaman and Cyborg are getting their asses handed to them by Steppenwolf, which they are, right? Mm-hmm. And then you remember that scene when Alfred, it was in the previews, it wasn't in the movie, when Alfred looks up and goes, he said you would come.
Yeah.
Right.
I just hope you're not too late.
Yeah.
I thought that was the Green Lantern
Most people, a lot of people
coming
did.
down and like being like, okay, I'm gonna grab Superman's corpse, toss him into the sun because he can, because the Green Lantern can.
Yeah.
And then you get this amazing shot of Superman just like floating into
And
the
the
sun.
eyes, the
Yeah, and just
The
like
red.
and then he like comes down, saves the day, like, and now you've introduced Green Lantern in a hurry, which is what you've wanted to do the whole time with every other character. But no, instead we get this
but
bullshit
okay.
fucking.
So sure, but then you would give us like an amazing, iconic Superman moment, like something that has been
Right.
done in the comics and in animated and
Yes,
video
you
games.
get how often do you think of that shot?
Yeah, but that never gets old ever. That
No.
never gets old.
No.
So
That's one of many changes I would have done to that movie. But I just think, again, like in the presence of their amazingly hurried character introduction, like that would have fit perfectly to introduce yet another one.
Well, yeah, because it's like that.
And then we get the Green Lantern, and
that's
maybe,
no less backstory than any of the other characters got. in that
exactly.
movie,
And
so.
maybe he joins the fight and whatever, you know.
So here's a random question, kind of on topic. So as we all know, having read the comic, he has the black suit when he comes back for a reason.
Yeah,
Right.
Do we think that's going to be addressed in the Snyder Cut, or is it just going to be fucking black for no reason?
I don't know.
I kind of feel like it's just going to be black, and they're not going to have a reason for it.
Yeah, so you have to
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah, you have to be deep into the comics. A lot of people, like if you talk to people that are not nerds,
They don't know.
Not only do they not know, but they seem to think that black suit equals bad Superman. I'm like,
Right.
no,
Yeah,
different color, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people don't know about it, so I don't think they're gonna explore it that much. They're just gonna show like it looks cool.
It looks very cool.
It looks dope. So
yeah.
they're not gonna. I don't
think they're gonna.
I don't think they're gonna go too much in depth about what it means. And
I
why
literally
he wears
just think
it.
it's fan service. They're just doing it because everybody
Yeah.
wanted it and they
Yeah.
didn't get it. So
And what's funny is I think most people that want it are under the pretext of like, oh, when he gets brought back, he's pissed and he wears a black suit because he's bad. He's mad now.
No,
I'm
that's
like, not at all. But
no, he's still Superman. It's not.
yeah.
So
So that's my number one.
all right, good pick. I don't care how it happens, when it happens. Just give me that moment. Give me the Superman into the sun, eyes open, red, and he flies down and whips everyone's ass. Just give me that. It's so iconic, and it's how the hell has it not happened yet? So
it kind of happened on when he blows up with the nuclear bomb in Batman vs Superman.
Get out of here. Wow.
It kind of happened.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Well,
it kind of happened. He was out in outer space. He got blown
yeah,
up by a nuke.
not enough. Not enough. All right.
And then the sun hits him.
Yeah.
And then he like turns.
I know.
Looks all jacked up.
Do I look happy?
No. And then he looks better. And then he comes back down and fucks some shit up.
That's
I'm
so
just
not the
saying
same
it
thing.
did happen, but it's not as bad as you wanted.
Okay.
And then
No, and then. Okay.
Never has this happened with Batman.
My number one.
Notice the pause. That's pure hate.
My number one. The Wolverine.
Oh yeah, here we go. Back into the X-Men.
No. So not X-Men Origins Wolverine,
oh, that's his favorite.
because I'd have to rewrite that entire movie.
The whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to do that. I'm
Loves
trying
the
again.
claws.
I know I didn't do this for most of us. I'm trying to do the change one thing bit here. So the Wolverine, the one where he's in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Most of that movie's fantastic.
Yeah.
2/3 of that movie is a 9 out of 10. In fact, I'm going to point out the exact moment that movie falls off a cliff. So, Wolverine loses his powers, all that kind of stuff. Everything happens. The grandfather, the old dude's name I can't remember, he wants his healing factor. Now, I have to change one big thing, a scene, but I have to change a plot point in order for this to work. Because the biggest issue in this movie to me is they're trying to get his healing factor. And he's telling Wolverine, I could change, quote unquote, what they did to you, implying that the adamantium process gave him that. That is a hard no. That's his mutant power. The healing factor is his mutant power.
Yeah.
The adamantium claws and bone, that's what was added.
That's the addition.
That's you're not taking away his immortality, which isn't even really immortality, but that the healing factor and all that, that's his mutant power.
Yeah.
So just take that away. Just be like, hey, I can take away your healing factor. I can take away that. I can make you quote unquote human, however you want to word it. But just make it known that that's not what was given to him in the Weapon X procedure.
Right.
So that's nerd issue number one. But the bigger one is one of the most amazing moments, and this is one in a previous countdown I did of one of my top moments ever, was when he does cut the parasite out of him. And his friend is there defending him from her dad or from her friend's dad. And there's that awesome sword fight happening between them as he starts healing and the gradual build to him coming back. She starts to get defeated. He wakes up, catches a sword with his claws. This was in the best Wolverine's moments. And then he fights that guy. That is an amazing sequence because you realize that dude with the katana is a much better fighter than Wolverine. Literally every shot he lands on Wolverine is a mortal wound, is a kill shot.
Right.
And the only reason Wolverine keeps coming is because of his healing factor. Because he is this fucking monster. And you have the way that the whole scene crescendos with the freaking music and with the lightning and the thunder and the lighting. Everything about it is gold leading up to him killing this guy. Lightning hits. I am the Wolverine. Bam. If the credits rolled right there, 9.5 out of 10. Fantastic movie.
But
it kept going. And it got stupid as shit. So we're not even going to talk about the dumbass ninja fight that happened in the town because that was ridiculous.
that was dumb.
But all of a sudden, he finds Grandpa, who is quote unquote the Silver Samurai, who is actually a cool character in the comics.
Yeah.
Right.
But they're just like, hey, you know what Marvel has? Iron Man. You know what we want? Some big dumb fucking mech suit. So why don't we cut off his claws? Even though it's adamantium, it's an indestructible metal. But how are we going to cut it off? Well, he has a big ass metal sword. Well, that's not going to work. I don't know. Make it glow or some shit. Lightsaber. And so he cuts the claws off. And so then they just inject some needle into the fucking claws, and they're getting what I presume is this bone marrow or some shit, because that's where mutants have their powers. And as we already discussed, that's his mutant power, not what's given. But anyway, they suck it out of him, and they give him to the old guy, which de-ages him to 25 because reasons. And so now we have young 25-year-old, which it's very impressive that it just knows when to stop aging him. Because what if he goes to 4 and he's just like this tall toddler walking
then
around
you have baby
with
samurai.
with this big ass freaking lightsaber sword thing. But no, so he stops at 25, so good on you. And then he gets in this big dumb Iron Man mech suit samurai thing because we have to have Wolverine fight some big dumb CGI samurai mech suit thing. And that was stupid as shit. And yeah. All right.
So you're saying it would have been better if it was a baby samurai?
I mean, yes. Here's what I would do. I could do it better. So,
Oh boy.
we have the scene with Wolverine fighting Mariko's dad that establishes that Wolverine is this badass beast and this imposing monster, but on a technical level isn't as good a fighter as like an actual samurai like that, right?
Yeah.
But the reason Wolverine wins is because of his powers. So then he goes to find Mariko, and her dad still catches him. You could have them cut off his claws, even though it pissed me off, and extract his DNA. And then that injects it into him. If you want to make him 25, sure, I'm annoyed, but I'm not out of it yet. And then what we have is not a big ass Iron Man, stupid ass mech suit. We just have samurai armor made out of adamantium.
Ooh.
Yeah,
And we have dual katanas made out of adamantium.
Ooh.
And you
Well,
put
how do you kill that guy?
You put him in that armor, and you have him and Wolverine have a one-on-one fight. And now we're seeing what Wolverine was fighting with the first guy times 10, because not only is he a better warrior, but you can't fucking hurt him. And he is slaughtering Wolverine.
That's a big oof.
But Wolverine can't die.
That's a big oof.
So, now, how you defeat him, you could do whatever you want here. You could have his friends help him out. You could have there be distractions. But also, samurai armor isn't impervious, much like medieval armor. There are little plates and stuff in between that Wolverine could get into, whatever. You can defeat him however you want. But I'm saying... Whatever. But I'm saying you have an amazing one-on-one fight.
Yeah.
And you have the Silver Samurai actually be like this badass warrior like he
supposed to
is
be.
in the
Yeah,
comics,
yeah.
not this big Iron Man wannabe mech
man,
suit.
that's really good.
And that alone would have changed. Like, it still would have lost me on a couple of things that I didn't like that they did with the character and the powers. But I would have looked past that if you would have given me a badass scene where they threw down.
Yeah.
And if you want to negate, like, you could even negate the fight with her dad. If you don't want to give me two fights with him going one-on-one with like a samurai, that might get a little redundant. So sure, I can get that. Maybe take that away. But as long as you give me that moment, that's fine. But just don't do the Iron Man mech suit. That's stupid.
I like it.
That's my number one.
I like it.
You've been making a lot of notes over there, T-Crawler, and a lot of scribbles.
I'm just... I can't follow that.
Wouldn't that have been better? But that would have been better.
Way better.
Because that was a great movie
Yeah.
that all of a sudden was just a good movie because the Indians sucked.
You have
The third
a
act
formidable fight
sucked.
at the end. It's like
Yes.
that final fight, and it makes it like it's actually going to be a badass fight.
That would have
Yeah.
made it still a great
That would have
movie.
made it way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good number 2.
Thank you. Well, number one.
Man,
Number
number
one.
one.
Yeah. Good job.
And see, no 1A's or anything because that was
1A because
Everyone's
it was
just like,
that
yeah,
good.
That was
yeah.
good. All right. Yeah.
We have no
Thank you.
follow up.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my number one, I couldn't. It's hard for me to decide on what I wanted to do with this one. I don't know. I looked at Transformers, then I looked at, then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something different. DC's Legends of Tomorrow. I'm gonna go with another series. Now, I became a big DC fan. I mean, once I became friends with this guy, but even bigger when the CW started their DC stuff, because I looked up Arrow and I started reading stuff, and I started reading more stuff, and then started finding out all this stuff about DC and all these characters and how they actually did it first, and you know before Marvel and
Right.
all this other good stuff, right?
Then you come to find out that DC is better than Marvel.
Right. So CW and Berlanti he's magic, right? But Berlanti is, for me, I consider him the Kevin Feige is what I call it, because I can't never get his name right, of DC. And he even with this last crossover gave them an out and gave them like the multiverse
He
thing.
needs
like,
all the money for that.
right?
Like,
he,
seriously.
he gave them a way for the movies and the TV series all to
all to
come
make
together,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, I like Legends of Tomorrow, but because the freaking DCEU could not get the Justice League shit right, why not make the Legends Justice League, the CW's Justice League? Like,
Right.
you had all these series starting it, why
Right.
not just put them together
Combine
and make
them.
it.
Yeah.
So my change is not because something was bad. I love DC Legends of Tomorrow. I love the characters they have on there, the characters that have left, whatever. And then, they have brought new characters on. Constantine on there now is awesome. They have awesome characters. If it would have been just a totally different show, just instead of the Legends, if you want a group show, make it the Justice League. I think they would have done awesome with doing the Justice League because they had a lot of characters already, but because of copyright things and who owned this and who owned that, one of the major cornerstones you couldn't have the freaking Batman, right? So they eventually had
Arrow.
Yeah, they had Arrow. So
Batman.
but so I know it would have been different, but I just would have liked to see a Justice League because they fucked it up in the movie.
I agree with that, but the one thing I will say though is kind of how like the Arrowverse in general got you into DC. It made me like certain characters that I had never been super big on before, like Ray Palmer is the Atom,
right?
One, because Brandon Roth is so good,
right?
But also, I liked Black Canary well enough, but I was never like a super huge fan of her,
right? Yeah.
But Sarah Lance is one of the coolest fucking characters in it. She is like badass and strong and smart and powerful. And she is like the best female protagonist this side of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like seriously, she is. And when she got promoted to leader of Legends of Tomorrow, I fucking loved that. Yeah. No, she's fantastic. Like that character specifically, I wouldn't have been so into if not for this show.
The show,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great character arc with her. Like how she became so badass.
Yeah.
Like where she began. First she was just the girl that was on the ship with Oliver, and then all of a sudden you find out all this other shit. Like I said, Berlanti's like the writing. I think is just it's awesome. Like everything
really
he's been doing with it.
Yeah.
So and the fact that they're so meta, like with things like Ray Palmer, like for instance, like
she kind of looks like my cousin.
It always makes fun of the fact that he was a Superman. Like even the first time when Felicity and him were dating, or whatever, and he's flying in the suit, and Cisco's like, "Is that a bird? No, it's a plane. No, that's my boyfriend." It's like freaking, and he's like, it's like, there's so many scenes
when freaking Stephen Amell, who plays Arrow, played Casey Jones in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sequel, and so he had a character on his show that his mask was a hockey mask.
Yeah.
And
Wild
they were
Dog,
making
right?
Wild Dog, and they were making fun of it. Like, well, wearing a hockey mask is like your disguise is stupid. And just out of nowhere, Stephen Amell's like, I think it's kind of cool. That's what for a nerd. That's what makes it.
So like I said,
it brings you in.
The Legends is cool for a lot of the reasons, and that I love those things. But like every time something we would have like these nerdgasms, like we're freaking like, oh my god!
You
like,
can tell with that kind of writing, it's written by fans. It's written by people that care. So if they had been given the Justice League to start, if they had been given the keys to do whatever they wanted to start, think of how good that could have been.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yes,
that's what I want. It's not. I guess it's not even a change. It's what I would like. I guess
what you would like, they would rather done.
Yeah. So
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, that's really good.
Totally different from anything else.
And so that leads into the question: why haven't they done that? And you talk about the copyrights and stuff.
Because a lot of it was because DC's movie universe was separate, and so they were doing it. So like the Arrowverse actually had certain characters like Deadshot and stuff like that, but then when they were going to come out in movies, like nope, got to get rid of them, got to kill them off. Same thing with Amanda Waller.
So
shit like that.
friends of the show, get over that. Make us a Justice League show that we can follow.
Yes, exactly. I know you watched the CW.
We know you.
They even had a freaking. You see some of the Suicide Squad. In a couple
right.
You see a little shot.
Let's make a
Justice
League.
Harley Quinn, like, but they couldn't really show.
Let's make a Justice League like live action series that we can watch.
But then all of a sudden they don't care, and they actually have characters that are and they have a fucking Flash show, and it's fine. So it makes no sense.
But it's good though.
But it was super cool when they introduced Batwoman and like Stephen Amell, like Arrow's character. They kept referencing Batman. They're like, "Oh, would you come to compare grappling hooks?" He's like, "Batman's not real. He's not real."
Yeah, he just wouldn't. He would not.
He wouldn't because he couldn't accept that he didn't do it first.
And that Barry Allen was the fanboy.
Yeah,
like, is there really?
Yeah,
he real? And he's like, "He's not real." Like that was so.
Like, do you want to take a ride in the Batmobile?
But then it was also
Can we really?
But then it was funny too because the first time they met Superman, which they're allowed to have Superman.
Yeah.
The first time they meet Superman, fucking Arrow's just like.
Yeah.
And then Barry's like, "Are you puffing out your chest?" He's just like,
No.
He's just like, "Yes." Like he admits it. It was so good. It was so stupid.
Yeah, they do a lot of fun. It makes it fun.
That's the humor that the character has, like in the comics,
Right.
that he doesn't have in the show. But whatever, it was fun. But that's a good number one. Well
Good
played, sir.
job.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody.
All right, that was our top 5 countdown. Well played,
How
gentlemen.
long was that?
Well, we're at 2 hours, but we're gonna keep going because we have
It's your fault.
this or that, and it is your fault. It's totally your fault. We can wrap this up quickly though. It's good.
I gotta work on this.
All right, this or that. T. Crawler and I have tag teamed this. I got 3, you got 2. T. Crawler, throw out yours. What do
All
we
right,
got?
so this or that.
By the way, Weapon 2, we miss you. This is a hard segment
Yeah.
to come up with.
We miss you, bro.
Definitely. So would you rather have your life? Would you rather have theme music in your life, like motion picture theme music, whenever you do something, be it the most exciting thing or even the most minuscule thing, or would you rather have your life narrated by any actor or actress of your choosing?
Ooh. You go first.
Me?
Yeah.
I got this. So I'm mixed because so if you guys go to the gym, right? You could listen to.
That was such a douchebag segment.
It was.
If you guys went to the gym,
One of the
and then you looked at our bellies, like
one of the
clearly you
soundtracks
don't.
you could listen to is epic trailer music, and it sounds like the badass like music that you hear in a trailer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As you're working out, and it makes you feel like a fucking badass.
Like
you could be
like a
curling
superstar.
pins,
Yeah.
and it's like
Curling 5 pounders, just like I got this.
You know what I mean? It's freaking awesome, right? It's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I've also listened to Anna Kendrick's audiobook, her autobiography, Scrappy Little No One, available on Audible and anywhere else audiobooks are sold. And her voice is that of an angel. So hearing her narrate my life would be great, except that I don't do a whole lot. So if it's literally like, he sat down
Music.
again, he's doing the podcast, he's doing that thing again. Seriously, how is he doing it again? I'm going with music.
That's a fair statement. So, I am somewhat of a musician, and I just cannot see my life without music.
Yeah.
But man, the concept of having Samuel L. Jackson narrate my fucking life, it's really tempting. Like, this motherfucker is
But here's the thing. But like, so with the music,
know what I'm saying?
and with this,
Right.
it wouldn't be just when it would be all the time.
Every time. You
This
use it-
motherfucker made a ham and cheese sandwich. He got the motherfucking cheese. He got the motherfucking bread.
And I will be perfectly okay
And
with
you would
that.
be laughing.
Yes,
all
that
the
would
time.
be awesome.
But it would ruin, like, if you're, hypothetically, you're a single guy.
He would just be like, man, really?
This motherfucker's going for a move. She's not interested, but this motherfucker thinks she's gonna. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would psych you out.
I would love that.
Yes, it would be great, but you would laugh. You would laugh.
love that. But being how much I love music, I think we're gonna have to go with.
I want to change my answer. I want Sam Jackson to narrate everything.
Right.
That's good shit.
I'm
Just
doing
think
it.
about that. Samuel L. just be like,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
that would, but like you said, you'd be laughing and just
You would be rolling all the time.
It would be so
This motherfucker was gonna get laid, but he fucked it up because I'm funny.
Too soon, son. Too soon.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go with narration, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna use Morgan Freeman.
That was
when
my
Morgan
second
Freeman-
one. That
when
was
he
my
narrates
very
stuff.
chill. He's
Yeah,
very chill.
he's chill. He has that.
There's not a whole lot of motherfuckers in there though.
Yeah,
You'd
no,
be like,
but that's
oh.
fine. That's fine. But it just sounds.
Let me hear your Morgan Freeman.
I can't really do Morgan Freeman. You have to give
Okay.
me some time. I can't just
All
do
right,
it.
all right.
No, I can't. If I had some time, I need to hear him. And then I can
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would have Morgan Freeman narrate my life.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Why?
He asked for her number. She said no. That was worse than when I got ate by a fucking shark. The shark ate me. It was a deep blue sea. It fucking ate me. Sorry. God, there's so many scenarios running through my head. That'd be so funny.
It was at this moment where no, I'm just
There you go. Yeah.
It was at this moment when T. Crawler laughed at Captain Mel for getting
looked
rejected.
around and decided he was not up for the challenge.
oh god.
So sandwich it is, huh? Again.
All right.
He went
So-
with the non-fat mayo.
So he thought gym or sandwich. Nope, sandwich it is again.
it was decided if he wanted to put cheddar or Swiss cheese on his
There
sandwich.
you go. Nice.
I try.
Yeah.
All right, so my second one. Unless you want to do yours and then we go back to mine.
Yeah, I'll do
Let's
one.
yours. Then.
Okay, so I got a short one. Green Lantern ring or Mjolnir? Which one are you going with? I feel like that's simple but hard.
No, it's not simple at all.
Well, I mean, in terms of what I'm describing.
Oh, yeah. Green Lantern ring.
Why?
Because the possibilities are endless.
All right, I'm gonna go.
As long as you're creative enough.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So if you have strong will and you're creative, dope.
Yeah.
I'm going Mjolnir.
You would.
You're not worthy.
Yeah.
No, but
That's pretty obvious.
presuming you're worthy
You're not
and or
worthy.
can wield the Green Lantern.
Until so he gets the hammer and he's like, oh fuck, I can't lift it. That sucked.
Yeah. This dumb
Should've gone with the
motherfucker
ring.
thought he could lift a hammer.
Should have gone
He
with the
was
ring.
wrong.
This motherfucker thought he could lift the hammer. Should have gone with the ring, bro.
The ring, motherfucker.
Yeah, ring. He should have went with the ring.
Or Morgan Freeman like, he definitely picked the wrong.
T.
that
Crawler went
this
with the logical choice. He
that-
chose the ring.
It was at this time that Captain Mao decided, man, I should have went with the ring.
Well, this really sucks. I didn't think about the fact that I'm not worthy of it.
Oh, jeez. I lost my hammer. That was a thing. Yeah. I love that part when he's like just describing everything that happened in his
Yeah.
life. Everybody died. He
That just
lost his
happened
hammer.
like
I
yesterday.
lost my hammer.
so-
That just happened.
That just happened.
But I would go with the ring because it's just everything you can. Basically, whatever you can think you can make.
Yeah.
Basically,
That's
so,
cool. I want to be a god, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's, yeah,
The
right,
hammer
what do you
doesn't make you.
Yes, it does. You get the power of Thor. You're a god.
I don't want to stand this into 3 hours. So okay, Cap.
All right, so speaking of the gym earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, so two things. Would you rather? Let me see if I can word this right. So, would you rather have the ability to look buff and cut whenever you're wearing something? So whenever you're wearing something, it's like you look like a superhero, right?
Yeah.
But when you take it off, you're flabby and you're just out of shape. All right.
So like my
Or-
normal day.
Right. And so you have to wear it all the time if that's what you want to look like. So, or vice versa. You only look cut and buff when you have no shirt on. But when you put clothes on, you just look fluffy and frumpy.
Number one. Okay, got a couple two-part explanation here. So one, so if I just am jacked when I'm not wearing clothes, is
Yeah.
essentially, and then I put clothes on and I would look really
You look
flabby.
really-
You can't just walk around naked. Like you can't. Like that's great when it's a beach day, right? I can't go to work in my freaking boxer briefs. Like it's not gonna happen, right? Now
To be completely naked.
or
I mean, you could wear. Okay, so you could wear boxers or whatever. Like,
Okay.
Well, no, if I had to be naked, I had to be naked. Whatever. That makes my point even more for me. Now, or I look jack, tan, and juicy as fuck wearing clothes. So that's most of the time.
Right.
So
Okay.
vanity, that's a thing. But then it's gonna be really funny when you hook up with somebody and you turn all the lights out and
Yeah.
you get naked and they're just like, the fuck?
Fuck just happened.
But it's too late. So
I feel like
I got you, bitch.
I
Got
feel
you,
like-
bitch.
I feel like we've all had that experience. Like, what happened?
what happened?
Yoga pants should be suable.
See what happened was.
I'm gonna go with being naked and ripped. I'll be naked all the time. Be like, fuck you. If you want to look at it, turn around, bro.
That's cool.
Because of what you just said, the level of disappointment when I go home, and my wife's like, bro, put some clothes on. You know what I mean?
You're
Be
always
like,
walking
"No."
around here naked.
Yeah, I'll just be naked all the time.
Yeah. See.
That'd be funny though, because then I would just throw a T-shirt at you and you catch it, like your upper body would get fat.
With
Your
that,
belly would just pop out.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're
yeah.
Motherfucker.
like,
You
motherfucker.
just won't catch it. You're like,
And then
oh,
Morgan Freeman, so Cat Mao just threw the shirt on purpose. Imagine that.
All right. Next is
No, wait.
I'm gonna wear clothes.
Oh wait, yeah, what is yours?
I'm wearing clothes.
To look buff?
Yeah. I'm wearing
Hey.
clothes. To look buff, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Cubans are always naked.
Wow.
I'm not Cuban for the.
All
You
right.
keep telling yourself that. That's funny.
All right. So next question: would you rather 5% of the population have telepathy, or 5% of the population have telekinesis? Now, no matter what you choose, you are not part of the 5%. It's at random. And for context, 5% of the population is about 390 million people.
So you don't get that power?
No,
Or
you just have to exist in a world where a random 5% of the population has this power or the other power.
So it's telekinesis or what?
Telepathy.
Telepathy? Ooh. Telekinesis is the one where you move things around, right?
Yes. Telepathy is like mind control, mind reading shit.
Telekinesis.
Yeah. Telekinesis, there's going to be a lot more collateral damage, like a lot more bank robberies and shit, but no one's fucking with your mind, so...
Because that could be like
telekinesis,
right?
For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
You can move like tanker.
Dude from Jessica Jones.
I think
Jean Grey.
I think they're both
Xavier.
fucked up.
Well, it depends on who gets them. Because of some,
it's a random 5%, right?
Right.
That's fucked either way.
But if like a random 5% and then like a group gets together that doesn't have our best interests in mind, that could be fucking
cold soups.
Either way, that could be horrible. So, but I feel like telekinesis, that's terrible, but you could that's just physical. You could directly fight that.
Yeah.
Telepathy.
And I'll just wear it.
You can, right.
Yeah.
I'll just wear a helmet.
No, you can't wear that because you're naked, remember?
No, I'm wearing clothes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can wear that.
All right. So we're all agreed on that one. Last one. Would you rather have whatever you are thinking appear in a bubble above your head for everyone to see at all times, or have everything you do live streamed on every platform for everyone to see at all times?
Fucking neither.
It's like that. That's like that. Movie. That's like that movie with Jim Carrey, right? It's like everybody's watching
him. Yeah. But everything you're thinking. But so here's the thing. So you're thinking some shit, but it's above your head, and it's only people who are in your general vicinity could see it.
No.
Damn.
Or live stream for the world everything you do.
Bubble. I would just have to make sure I'm not thinking about certain things unless I'm like by myself.
Cool. I disagree, because here's the thing: you could just not do some shit. That's fine. I am a good person mostly, but I have some horrible fucking thoughts that I could not explain away readily. And I don't care who you are. Sometimes you think some weird shits. And I don't know, if my grandma is just like, the fuck, I'd be like,
I feel like if your grandpa's there, he's like, you should know.
If I'm being live streamed, I could just not do some shit. So I'm gonna go with
You mean live stream at all times?
all times.
No, fuck that, bro. Yeah,
you can't.
I'm gonna go with commit suicide.
Well, you can't. Damn, that got dark.
Bro,
you can't do that. You gotta pick one.
Okay. Oh,
That's why I said bubble. I'm not gonna be live streaming every single thing that I do.
But you can't. Okay, so
the only people that can see the bubble are those near you.
yes.
Yeah, bubble for sure.
Okay, but here's the thing.
For sure.
If you're around people, it's like human nature to think the shit you don't want them to think. So I'm
I
like,
can control
don't
my
think
thoughts.
about the color red. What pops in your head?
Blue.
No, bullshit.
Bullshit. It's red.
Probably Superman's
so
cape.
if it's just like, hey, look at her
It did
titties, don't
actually.
think
That's the first thing that
Exactly.
popped there. Listen, assholes.
I'm just saying, some weird shit's gonna pop in your head.
I'm okay with that. Better than you streaming everything I do at all times?
Yeah.
No, bro. My wife will not go for that shit. But bottom line, she'd be like, nah, honey, pick the bubble. So bubble it is.
All right.
You're welcome, honey.
I'm live streaming.
Get ready to watch the cast.
Certain times of the day there'll be higher ratings.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Good lord.
All right, that was this or that. Weapon 2, we missed your comeback because this went way off the rails.
Yeah, I did.
All right, so it's everybody out there in YouTube lands and listening on the audio platforms. We also have a Facebook. We have an Instagram. Check those out. We post pretty frequently. We get lots of interactions on the Facebooks. We try to share lots of nerdy news, lots of topics that we end up talking about on the podcast. We usually share there first. We have a Patreon. If you want to support this 2-bit operation, give us some money. We'd much appreciate it. Keep us going. We have lots of plans in the future, things that we're getting at. Also, T-Crawler, we have a contest going on, don't we? We have a contest?
what?
We do, don't we?
Wait,
yes.
what?
I think we do.
Trying to get to 300
So
subscribers.
300 subscribers.
That's right.
And if we do,
yeah.
when we get there, we want to give you guys free stuff. Every 100 interval level that we hit on the YouTubes, we pack a box full of nerdy goodness.
That's right.
One of the things you'll get in that box is a custom piece of art by Weapon 2.
You gotta say it. A drawing
by Weapon 2. You will
Drawing.
get a TWG logo t-shirt, also ironically drawn by Weapon 2.
Yep.
And you tell us the kind of nerdy stuff you're into. We will cater the box to you. We'll probably give you Funko Pops, comic books, all kinds of random shit just to make you feel appreciated. And we will ship that out to you. We will pack it. We will ensure the fact that it will get there 100% intact. That's a lie. I don't know what UPS does. But we will do it to the best of our abilities.
Yeah.
But do that. Check it out. Follow us on all of our platforms. We're available on every podcast platform. Your favorite one, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spreaker, all that kind of good stuff.
Don't forget our website. I don't think you mentioned that.
I have not. We have a website? What is it?
The world's greatest.net.
Is the website.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it'll get you one-stop shop.
Yeah, it'll get you everything that he mentioned, plus the merch for our Weapon 2.
Right.
All the
Stolen
things that he's
cheese,
done.
all one word.
Stolen cheese, all one word. That's right. But it is, again, it's the world's greatest.net. We have there's blogs that are on there that Weapon 2 and I have done. Again, links to all the things that you mentioned previously, all the social media, all the podcasts.
Right. You could directly watch the videos and the audio directly off the podcast, just in case, I don't know, maybe you're at work and they block some social media sites.
Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. Also, links to everything else. And like he said, you can check out the Redbubble and TeePublic page for Weapon 2, Stolen Cheese, where they have not only our TWG merch, but all the other really cool original shit that he draws and puts on t-shirts that you should check out.
Really cool, yeah.
Yeah. So, no matter what you're into, that is where you can check out all of our content.
That's right.
Kal-El, thank you for coming back.
Man, thank you for
Much
having me, guys.
appreciated.
I try to keep it to a shorter version next time.
The
Listen, this is what happens.
Have fun.
This is what happens when nerds get together and you nerd out. So like, I appreciate you guys having me
And
over.
to be fair, this isn't this isn't. It's not a 4-hour podcast like the last time you were
So
here.
we did
technically,
better.
We are making progress.
I appreciate the decor. I appreciate the invite. I appreciate being here. And please, if you do anything, fans of the show, we told you what to do. Foxx, DCU. Please, bro.
CW.
Fix your shit.
Get it together. That's all we want. Also, bring back Firefly. All right.
Oh, yeah.
T. Crawler, closing thoughts?
No, man, it's a great episode. Thanks. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I could be here.
Finally. It's like you were ducking him or something.
No, oh my god.
He was.
Adulting. Yes.
That's okay.
So no, I'm glad that again that you were here, and it's an excellent episode.
This is good shit.
Yeah.
I look forward to editing this. I think this is gonna be pretty funny. So
Thank you, guys.
all right. Thank you for coming on, and to all of you, thank you for joining us on this episode of the World's Greatest News and Reviews. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Peace.